Blast Live. Marriage over for Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dewan. If they can't last, who can? Class dismissed. As thousands of teachers walk out again, demanding more money and more resources. Plus, comedian Tracy Morgan's second chance at life. A sneak peek at his hilarious new show, The Last OG, that debuts tonight. Is the president responsible for Roseanne's ratings? You won't believe her response. And it all starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Let's get right into it, shall we? Shocking news, very sad news about Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dewan. The couple announced they are separating after nearly 9 years of marriage. They released a joint statement on Instagram saying in part, quote, "Absolutely nothing has changed about how much we love one another, but love is a beautiful adventure that is taking us on different paths for now." Now, the couple first met in 2006 on the set of the movie Step Up. Jenna recently posted their original audition tape, and just look at their chemistry together. I want you guys to see this.
Hi, I'm Jenna Dewan.
Channing Tatum. Hi.
Hi. Oh, come on, you pretty good.
Nah.
You said you did some sausage. Uh-oh.
And Channing and Jenna have one daughter together, 4-year-old Everly. I was so in love with their love. I'm really sad.
Why?
What do you mean, why? They were like the epitome, in my opinion, of like this perfect little family.
But I don't know. Is perfect what we're going for? I mean,
yes.
I think when you look back at your life, you'll never remember the perfect moments. You'll remember the moments of imperfection. And I think what I look at when we look at long-term relationships, I think life is long. And I think it's lived in these kind of 10-year chunks. 10 years ago, Sam might not even hang out with present-day Sam, and might not hang out with 10 years from now, Sam. I think you're a different person.
What are you saying about 10 years ago, Sam?
I don't know, but I know she was kicking at the Saddle Ranch.
That's true.
You know? So, I mean, you're just a different person.
I'm sad for them.
It is
because,
sad, of course.
You know what I mean? As being in a relationship for 9 years, me and Jordan, you kind of look up to people that have been in a long-term relationship. Not saying like they're role models. Well, they are role models, you know? And I'm like, hey, they've done it. They could do it. They're going. And then when they break up, you're like, man, I kind of look to them as like us in a relationship. And then when they break up, it's sad.
I was sad for everyone who was responding to the fallout in the news.
Oh, so me? You were sad for me?
Because, well, no, because I think a lot of people spend more time investing and believing in other people than they believe in themselves.
That's not fair.
No, I'm being very honest. It is fair.
No, it's not, because you're telling me that I'm spending more time investing in them than I am in my own relationship.
You said you. I didn't say you.
You just did. You said people, but that's me.
But I'm saying that I was watching on social media people who were going in on all of the great things about them, not really knowing them, when they don't give that type of credit or investment in them, their own selves and their relationships. And that's the truth. I'm not saying it to you personally. So I think that people really need to stop looking at things as if everything is unicorns and fairies for someone else and start to really invest those things in themselves. The best thing they probably could have done for one another was not tear each other apart and do this amicably. And I am familiar with that situation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm still sad.
I'm very sad. Okay.
Well, they have a new movie called Step Back.
Too soon.
That was all right. That was all right.
Look at her face.
Soon.
Okay.
We got to move on to this next story because let me tell you, it is not going away. Ted Nugent is again bashing school shooting survivors. It's one of the top trending stories on Twitter. The singer and NRA board member is continuing his criticism of David Hogg, doubling down on comments he made previously about him. Listen to what Nugent said on the Curtis and Cosby radio show.
I don't have anything to say to David Hogg. This guy's a lost cause, and he is part of the problem, not the solution. He could have been a positive force. Now he's gone off on a tangent, failing to put focus on meaningful solutions.
And he said a whole lot more, too. He also said that those Parkland students wouldn't know the difference between an AR-15 and a pterodactyl. They were looking through the barrel of an AR-15, watching their friends get slaughtered. And you're telling me they don't know the difference between AR-15 and a pterodactyl?
Well, this is where we are. You know, 17-year-old, survivors of gun violence are now targets. Like how many stories in the last couple of days about these kids being targeted and attacked by grown-ups? This was 40 days ago this happened. It's very sad.
I think you invite this type of rhetoric because at the end of the day, if you hear something from someone who is a credible person, someone who is a genuine person, and it's positive, it's the same thing as hearing garbage from negative people. So I think you put it in the same thing and just move on with your life.
But Ted Nugent thinks they're being negative.
Well, I understand what he thinks. I'm saying that certain things don't deserve a response, and this person does not deserve to be
But a lot of people agree with Ted Nugent, though, Jeff.
A lot of
people are retweeting his sentiments, are quoting him.
It's because I think this is why I don't like the two sides, and I say it every day, and I know people probably don't like my point of view either, but I hate extremes on either side. It's like if you're on one side, you have to attack the other side. It's not right what David Hogg did by saying F this company, F that company, but it's not right to attack someone who
used the words F this company. I can find that tweet, and he was actually very eloquent. I looked it up yesterday after some commentary here.
Okay.
And he never used those words.
Okay, then I'll take that back. That aside. This kid was involved in a school shooting, a school tragedy. He's never going to forget the rest of his life. You cannot attack this kid. He's 17, no matter, even if he did say that, is my point.
Right.
Even if he did say it, that's not my point. You can't attack someone who's been in those shoes. Live in those shoes. If he was in those shoes, then I would listen to Ted Nugent. He wasn't in those shoes, so I can't listen to him.
Yeah, all right, we're going to leave it on that note. And DBL Nation, we do want you to chime in, so please, 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 you are our fifth host. And the parent company of the National Enquirer is hitting back at ex-Playboy model Karen McDougal. She's suing the company, claiming they purchased her story about her alleged 10-month affair with Donald Trump in 2006, and then alleging they buried it. Now the parent company says it's their First Amendment right not to publish the story, and they've asked a judge to dismiss the lawsuit. Erica.
Well, this was a catch and kill. So they were trying to protect Trump, and that's the reason why they bought her story and they buried it, which is within their right to do so. It's her bad for not playing the long game. She saw money, she cashed in on it, and now she wants to come back and get more money from it. I really don't have any empathy for her. I never did. At the beginning of the day, or at the beginning of the story, everyone said, well, she seems better than Stormy Daniels. I see them both as the same.
Yeah, but I totally disagree with you, because they presented an offer to her very specifically, saying, we're going to give you all these articles in our magazines. We are going to buy the rights of your story, and we will bury it. Now, they described it much differently than Catch and Kill. And Ronan Farrow wrote a very telling piece in the New Yorker that exposed the National Enquirer and what Catch and Kill is. And a number of employees from National Enquirer all testified that, yes, they catch and kill. They buy these stories for their rights, and then they bury them. But that's not what National Enquirer told her that they were going to do. They promised her the world. I think that's wrong and unethical.
Yeah, but if you don't have it in writing, then it never happens.
It is in writing. It is in writing.
Then why is she having to redo the entire or ask for the judge to redo the contract?
Because she did give away her rights, but in turn, she was supposed to have a laundry list of articles and covers.
She didn't come in with clean hands.
But
so at the end of the day, then she got screwed. She got screwed the same way that she screwed with the married man. That's exactly how that happened.
I like that.
I don't even know how to reply to that.
That was great.
But it is a violation of the contract. So I do think that she has a case here. Okay, I don't even know how to recover from that one. Well, a big congratulations to Villanova, huh? The Wildcats won the NCAA College Basketball Championship last night. They beat Michigan 79-62 in San Antonio, Texas, taking home their second national title in 3 years. But it's never too early to predict next year's winner. So digital producer Brett Forrest has the odds for next year at this moment.
You're absolutely right, Sam. Las Vegas is already betting on next year's winner. Odds makers are taking Duke as a favorite in 2019, giving them 5-1 odds. Following Duke is this year's champ Villanova, along with Kansas and Kentucky. Honestly, none of those picks are too surprising, and a smart person would say it's too early to be making bets, but I'm not a smart man, so go ahead and make some bets.
How do people already know? Al, you're into betting. Like, how do you know?
Because it's people's jobs to know. And the odds will be different as the season goes along. So a lot of people will get in early. And, you know, let's say Kentucky wins its first 25 games. Their odds will get better to win the title. So that'll be worse for the gamblers. So it's better to get in early.
I put a bet in one time for the Chicago Blackhawks. Jordan was going to Vegas. And I go, here's $100. Put it on the Blackhawks to win next season. It was before the season.
What happened?
So Jordan goes, hey, you never paid me for that whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she never in her whole life said that. She was just in Vegas and wanted a couple extra bucks. So I'm like, fine, take $60. Put $40 in the Blackhawks to win. The Blackhawks won the whole thing.
What would you
won?
I would have won a lot more money. Yeah, I would have won a lot more money. I won a couple $100, but would have been a couple $100 more. Thanks, Jordan, for for putting it in a slot machine instead of where it should have been.
All right. Attention, Barbra Streisand fans. Any Barbra Streisand fans in here? Just Tori. Okay. Well, there is a new book being released that you do not want to miss. Ebony Steele has the details coming in hot.
Yes, I do. Oh, I love me some Babs. It's a new book about Barbra Streisand. It comes out next Tuesday, and it has never before seen photos of Barbra Streisand in the 60s. So the photos taken by photographer Bill Epridge follow a young 20-something Streisand going from washing clothes in a bathtub in the kitchen of her New York City apartment to traveling to Rome and Paris and becoming a fashion icon. The book, Becoming Barbra, hits shelves April 10th. It makes me think. Memories, they light the corners of my mind. Back to you guys.
Was that her song?
Yes!
Black man, I don't know anything about Barbra Streisand.
You're getting spun.
I didn't even, because I don't know Barbra Streisand.
Hey, sorry, that's coming up on Daily Blast Live.
I'll be coming down to teach him about Babs, that's for sure. All right, day 2 of teacher walkouts, guys. Will thousands of educators get the money and the classroom resources they are demanding? Plus, Kathy's comeback will reveal the controversial role that Kathy Griffin's taking on for a new Comedy Central special. And President Trump takes credit for Roseanne's ratings. Does he have a point, or is it all her? We share your comments live. Guys, we're walking over to the host, see how their day was, how Monday went. If they watched the game, if they didn't watch the game. First of all, you and I need to go out to a deli, and I need to discuss Barbra Streisand over a Reuben.
Lots of delis in my life.
Yeah, but the Reuben needs to come into play. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it bleeding? Do you need some triage?
Not yet.
Okay. So we're talking about the game last night. Did anyone here watch it?
Of course.
Did you watch it? Did you watch
I
it?
watched it at the place that we were all supposed to meet up at. Thanks for no showing.
Who won the bracket at work?
I won.
No, I won!
Pretty sure I won.
Good, because if she won, there would have been an asterisk on it.
There would have been an
Tori filled out her bracket after all the first round was done. And then she's like, oh, I think I'll pick Loyola, Chicago. I'm like, you're picking Loyola over Miami? I'm like, you heard someone say that. And she picked all of her games.
Okay. I went in 2 minutes after the start of
2
Loyola.
minutes? The game was over. We came back from lunch. I was like, oh my God, Loyola beat Miami. And then you're like, I'll fill out a bracket.
And who did I have winning the whole thing?
Well, that was good.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And did you win?
No, I got Michigan winning. Boo! Go boo! But I was close. I was really close. So what did you guys watch? You watched it at the Stonies, and you did you bink on your bets?
I did.
I learned this from him today.
What's a bink mean?
That means
Teach the people.
When I use the word
You hit a
bink,
bet?
that means you hit your bet.
I didn't know what that meant.
Tori's so excited.
I banked on the Villanova covering.
Big. So he did well. Were you watching the game?
A lot of money on that DiVincenzo kid. He
That
made me a
kid
lot of
was
money last year.
amazing.
So who's the best? So DiVincenzo, Italian, did awesome yesterday.
Yeah.
Who's the best player for Michigan?
Wagner.
Where's he from?
Germany.
Now put them together.
Italian, Germany. I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Write us in about where you watched the game. Welcome back to Daily Blast Live, the only live show that covers trending stories live, no matter where you're watching. Now, Roseanne is back tonight after 18 million viewers tuned in last week. You may remember President Trump taking credit for the reboot's success, but the real Roseanne thinks otherwise.
I gotta get your thoughts on President Trump taking credit for your ratings.
It's all me.
This got you, our fifth host, talking. Take it away, Sam.
Thank you so much, Tori. Well, we asked, are the huge ratings because of the cast or the politics? And you, our fifth host, you had a lot to say. Brandy writes, watching it for the comedy and the memories. I'm tired of the liberal TV shows. So it looks like both. Karen says, the cast keeps me coming back. They could talk about mashed potatoes, and I'd watch. I have a feeling that it's definitely the politics.
Of course. The mashed potatoes comment made me giggle a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think it's a politics, and the way they're addressing the politics specifically. They're not mentioning Trump's name. They're looking at both sides, the liberal and conservative sides. And I think people need to have that conversation. We say it every single day. There needs to be a conversation had. They're having it, and they're having success.
But people said that they didn't watch the NFL because of the politics. So I don't understand.
Yeah, because they didn't feel like it was even-sided.
I think that it's the fact that they're making fun of both sides,
right,
because it's very much in a comedic way, and it's taking every single stereotype and dumping it on the screen. I'm really looking forward to what happens tonight to see if it's going to be a consistent thing.
Too. And Gina says, I'm watching Roseanne because it reminds me of the 80s. We all love the 80s. I read our very own...
financially horrible for this country.
It's
like weird fashion era. Hairstyles were horrendous.
The fashion was incredible.
The music was good.
Oh,
the music was good. Hall & Oates, come on. Michael Jackson in his prime, Prince in his prime.
Can we get back to the topic, please?
I'm sorry. Okay.
So what was interesting is Rena Pop, our EP, sent an article. I'm not sure if you saw it, but to all the talent. And there's an article that says that a lot of women who have felt closeted being a Trump supporter feel like that they feel validated, that they can come out.
I don't even know if they were closeted.
A lot
of white women voted for Trump.
But a lot of them aren't going to speak out about it. But the numbers suggest, and I guess according to the article, talking to some of these women, they feel proud now that they can go on social media and say, I'm a Trump supporter too.
Right. They're voting with their eyeballs.
Surprising. Facebook showed that people have been doing that since at least November 9th.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But maybe the show makes it easier to have the conversation is
I think so.
my point.
I think it's creating a healthy dialogue. Yeah. All right. Well, your tech habits could be causing injury, huh? Ebony Steele has all the details coming in hot.
Yes, smartphones and computers can actually cause injuries, but you can fix bad tech habits and reverse the damage. You can. First, gamer's thumb or texting thumb is a thumb pain and stress. It's from gripping, tapping, and swiping. The fix, ice your thumb and take a break. Then text with your pointer finger. Next, tech neck. It's a real thing. It's a strain in the upper back, neck, or shoulders. It's caused by hunching over a laptop or smartphone. The fix, stretching and fixing. Oh my gosh, stretching and fixing. How about that, your posture? Finally, email eye is itchy eyes or a headache, and it's from staring at screens. The fix, try the 20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look away from the screen and at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. DBL Nation, have you had a tech injury? Can one of y'all rub my shoulders? Back to you guys. Oh.
I mean, he's been on the computer too much.
That is the most embarrassing segment. What a generation. Imagine explaining that to your great-grandfather that got back from the war that I have gamer thumb.
Gamer thumb? Some people
What an embarrassing generation we are of weak people.
No. Some people are professional graphic designers, editors. They have to be glued to a computer screen all day long. It's not just
Well, then
gaming.
use the 20-20 technique. They'll be fine.
All right, Daily Blast Live is all about news. How's it happening? Tori, what's coming up?
We got a thumbs down for Al, apparently. Well, from a nearly fatal car crash to a brand new show, Tracy Morgan reveals what got him through the hard times. And baseball blunder, why the Houston Astros had to whip out a leaf blower to unveil their World Series banner. Right. Hey, guys. We're reading some of your comments. Lori Curry Reinhardt has a really good point about Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum. She wrote, marriage has a lot of peaks and valleys. Believe me, I have been married for almost 27 years. But you work through the valleys because it's easier to walk away unless there is abuse. And there's something to be said about people that stick it out. And I wondered what you guys thought about it. If you are in a good relationship or you're not in a good relationship, how long do you sort of wait or not? And I think this generation is different than the previous generation. So I'd love your thoughts on this thing. We're also going to be talking about Panera. And Ethan Helhowski, of course, is asking, where is Erin? Don't worry, Erin is still here. She's going to be on our panel so I can go, it's about to go down. So Stacey Sorber, Patrick absolutely hit topics on the head. Don't beat around the bush. And John Venturini says the 20-20 technique, also known as the Hugh Downs. Very, very funny. So you guys, what have you ever had gamer thumb? Has your wrist ever hurt from like scrolling? Be super honest.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
On my phone?
Like,
yeah, like
so
through
bad.
Instagram
It's not really
whatever.
the texting, it's the scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
And it
That
kind of hurts.
constant movement.
Yeah,
like,
and
you
it
can
hurts.
hear
And
it popping,
yes!
you know?
And it goes into this part.
Yep.
And for a long time, I was like, well, obviously, I'm very arthritic and I need to deal with this. Well, it turns out I'm not arthritic. It turns out I'm just scrolling too much. So take a break, put the phone somewhere else. What do you guys do when you feel like you're on the phone too much? How do you get it away? My mother has a basket. We hate this basket. For every dinner, the family is to put the phones in that damned basket, and then we can have a conversation, which actually I learn a lot more about my family than if I had the thing. But everyone hates the basket. So in your family, how do you guys make sure you're not getting scroller finger and scroller thumb? I mean, I think that, you know the surgery they had, Tommy Jones' surgery? For baseball players that have the elbow, they're gonna need to start doing like the scrolling surgery. And I might be the first one. So let me know if you guys have issues with the phone, what you do, how to take a break. How do you deal with family when you have dinner and you have everyone on the phone? Do you have a basket at home? Let us know.
All right, guys, 15 seconds.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time now for Al Sounds Off, when comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he can find.
All right.
You want to get right into this, Al?
Let's get into it. Let's talk a little baseball.
All right, let's do that. You know, winning a title is not easy, Al, but for the Houston Astros revealing their 2017 championship pennant, it was just as hard. Check this out.
Jeff, I like this. They're trying to have a nice ceremony. And you know, they say in baseball you fail more than you succeed, and they're proving that. You know, it looks good, but I mean, just like in real life, it kills the mood if you can't get it off the first try. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go over to China, Al. China just opened the very first car vending machine. You got to see this.
Oh, this is pretty cool. I don't know why we have a Ford factory in the middle of Tokyo, but I'll take it. I like this guy went and got a Ford Mustang and drove it around downtown Tokyo. Way to immerse yourself in the culture. What are you going straight to an Olive Garden next? Come on. Now, I'll just tell you this. I just know my luck, you know, just with all the vending machines, my car would get stuck. So I'm out on this one. Let's go to the last one.
That. All right, this last video will leave you saying, you've got to be kidding me.
What?
You'll see.
Jeff, this reminds me of my favorite rule in life. Never play with the kitty cat. This cat actually took $500 off me at a park one time. You know, but it is a cat treat underneath there. I mean, it's just like if you put a roast beef sandwich under a bucket, I'll find it. So,
Yeah.
That's it for this week.
All right, everybody, that's comedian Al Jackson, and this is Al Sounds Off. Good job, buddy. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Well, right now, Bed Bath & Beyond is offering to honor your Toys R Us gift cards, but there's a catch. As the toy company shuts down its stores and website, Bed Bath & Beyond will buy cards at a discounted rate, about 65% of their original value. That amount will be given back on a gift card to the home goods store. And you have to act fast. This offer expires Thursday at midnight. So if this is something you want to do, we'll post a link on our social pages.
Thanks, Raquel. Post it. Tens of thousands of teachers are walking out. Coming up, they're demanding better pay, but will they get it? And what about the kids who are teaching them? And next in Heart Threads, the healing power of a service dog, how one pooch is changing a veteran's life for the better. All that's next.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
So I'm headed over the wall. We're going to do a little behind the scenes for you guys today. So over here is the main bosses. So we don't go over there a lot because I usually swear like a sailor. So we're going to keep moving on. You guys know the digital team. Make sure you check out. There's Connor.
Hi.
He's over there, guys. Can you see him? It's Jason!
Hi, guys.
I'm trying to get him in the safari in the bush. He's like a hippopotamus. He's hard to find. Come on back with me. Follow this way. Okay. What's happening now, just so I know you guys know, Bert's giving him a little information on what to do. Jeff usually wanders around because he doesn't really know what's going on a lot. Oh,
Black licorice.
Oh, see, that's Jeff. He just opens his mouth and says what's in there. Stu's letting us know what's happening. We're walking over. Here's the big wall. This is where I'm going to go. Because otherwise Stu gets a little mad. And I'm going to take...
So angry.
And we're going to talk more about Stu's salad. I know you guys had some questions about it. This is Courtney. Courtney hands me this card. This card tells me what's on this prompter in case this prompter goes out, which it has, and in which case I go, Ashley Simpson, and then I run off the stage. So Rob walks over here. Come on over here. See this on the ground, guys? This is called my mark. And it's a little white spot, and I kind of just straddle it here. Then Rob knows I'm in the right position. And then this is the screen behind me. And then I do a little dance, and I do a little jig, and then I go get coffee. So let me know if you guys are interested in more behind the scenes. We'll show you the control room today. Write me, Facebook, YouTube. Bye, guys. Thank you. Today's Heartthreads is about a special bond between a man and his dog. After serving veteran, Mark suffered from PTSD. Some kind strangers gave him a shelter dog that changed his life. Take a look. Get the tissue. With help from a few strangers, this pound pup changed a veteran's life. Leland the Pit Bull was in a shelter when he was picked to be a service dog. Capital City Canine provided training, while Hit Fitness in Sacramento provided funding.
I have a trainer here who's a vet and, you know, has been to Iraq, so I understand a little bit of what they go through, so it's awesome just to help, and, you know, I'm glad.
With a new purpose, Leland was paired with Mark, a 12-year Army veteran. Mark was suffering from PTSD and loneliness.
Like a lot of other vets, I didn't think I needed anything or anybody.
But soon he realized a companion with 4 legs was just what he needed. Mark and Leland became fast friends and are now practically inseparable.
I've got somebody that's always there, no matter what. He's my best friend.
Wow.
Yeah, what a great Heartthreads. And I really appreciate our veterans so much more, because you always go, yeah, I'm down for our veterans, but when you meet our troops, especially the ones that are overseas.
Yeah, you've done USO tours.
Right, and my USO tours were 2 weeks at a time, and by the end of that second week, I was missing my kids, couldn't wait to get home. These guys are deployed for 6, 9, 12 months, and when they get back, remember that iconic scene at the end of, what was the movie with the bombs where the guy got back? I can't remember the Hurt Locker, when he got back in that scene with him in Walmart and just being overwhelmed. It's a crazy transition that these guys have to go, men and women go through when they come back. So any support we can give them, I just love the story.
Absolutely, and beautiful Heartthreads. But I do want to get to some of the comments right here. We have a lot of you, DBL Nation, chiming in on Channing Tatum. Lori Kern Reiner on Facebook says, if you love each other, why did you get separated? And then on Facebook, marriage has a lot of peaks and valleys. Believe me, I've been married almost 27 years, but you work through the valleys because it is easier to walk away unless there's abuse. More trending stories in our next half hour of Daily Blast Live. Kathy Griffin makes her TV return tonight after that whole Trump head debacle. Will you watch?
Good?
Yeah, you look great.
I just asked a compliment that I made up and asked if they said it. That's how it works around here.
Bully us into that
So you said I look good.
What are you saying?
Jeff, you're going home on Friday to Chicago. What are you doing there? Hanging out? Is there more to the story? Please.
You want someone to break into my house?
Yeah. No kidding. Are you going to be telling
I live in an apartment, Tori.
Are you going to be telling your family the reveal of the gender? That got weird.
What happened?
Really weird.
This is a great segment, Tori.
Tori, you want my social security number? Here.
What's your PIN number?
Yeah, here. Here's my PIN number and social security.
Yes. Okay. I don't know what I did.
Yeah, what happened?
Come over here.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Does my family know?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, does your family know the gender?
You don't want us to say?
No. Well, let's talk about something else.
If your family knows? Okay.
Of course my family knows what's going on.
Then why can't we know yet?
Yeah,
Not them, but us.
Because...
Oh, I wasn't going to ask the gender.
Yeah, be honest.
Of course I know. Boy or girl?
Because I don't want to make it like a big thing. If it becomes like a big thing, I'll just tell you guys.
Okay.
I don't want to make it like a big deal. I feel like I'm sucking up a lot of like baby blood.
But
you know what I mean?
well, it's not about you. Yeah, it's about Jordan and the baby. And we actually love this.
I just feel like it's like, yeah, we just did that thing. You know?
But we love this stuff.
I know.
And again,
I'm being honest with you guys. It's Jordan feels the same way. I told him, like, what do you want to do? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel
what
like
about the baby though?
She doesn't want to come here.
The baby's gonna want to know later on.
Is this what happens after a second child? You kind of do it the first time and then you kind of back it down the second.
That's like the whole.
No, we did it, but it's like.
Are you gonna do a shower or sprinkle?
Here comes some colored dust.
Do a
That's what kind of
sprinkle or
baby
a
we
shower?
have.
Sprinkle or a shower?
15 seconds.
What? Sprinkle or a shower?
What's sprinkle or a shower?
That means a sprinkle.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Let's get right into your top trending topics. Teachers in Oklahoma and Kentucky are protesting right now to have their voices heard, and our very own Erica Cobb has the story.
Fund our future!
A second day of teacher walkouts as educators in Oklahoma and Kentucky step out of their classrooms, demanding higher pay and better funding for their students. Many of these teachers haven't seen a pay raise in years and often have to pay for school supplies out of their own pockets. But lawmakers aren't standing with teachers just yet. In Oklahoma, the governor has said that there are many parts of the state budget that need funding, not just education. And in Kentucky, teachers are fighting back after lawmakers passed a bill to cut their pensions last week. The governor has yet to sign it, but has tweeted his support. But this movement is growing, as now teachers in Arizona are also considering a strike.
Wow. And this just in, Oklahoma City schools announcing that they will close tomorrow as these walkouts enter a third day.
Wow.
You were a teacher for 5 years, Al. Where's your head here?
You know, people always ask me, how did I transition into doing stand-up comedy? And what I decided to do is one summer, because I had my summers off, I was like, well, if I can make enough money to, support myself, I might think about leaving teaching. And that first summer, it just hit me just now. I made enough money to start actively thinking about doing stand-up full-time. So what does that tell you, that somebody that's been doing amateur comedy for 6 weeks is already making a salary commensurate to it? It's embarrassing.
For the teachers.
It's really, and it's shameful to make people beg for their money. It's hurtful.
Is this the way, though, it should be handled? I'm I'm putting myself in being a parent now, and having my kid in one of these schools. I don't want the teacher that my son or daughter knows every day to be walking out. I want my kid to be educated. I get that. Listen, I'm all for better pay. I'm all for it. But I don't know if walking out on a child's education is the right thing
but Jeff,
to do.
and I don't want to cut you off. Do you want your kid to be taught by a teacher that's coming in off her third job and she's exhausted, he or she's exhausted because they were driving Lyft until 2 o'clock in the morning?
No, I totally get what you're saying now. I get that side, but I know, but I don't know if walking out on children that are supposed to be being educated.
A lot of them walk out during the school. First of all, some of them walked out during their own spring breaks when they should be having a well-deserved vacation.
Again, we said, I gave them props for that yesterday. Yes.
Second of all, the ones that are walking out during school hours, during Monday through Friday, the reason why they're picking those weekdays is so they can walk straight to their capital and actually be there when the lawmakers are in session. So they can create an uproar, create noise, because the lawmakers aren't in session on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And the interesting thing about it is the fact that teaching is one of the very few professions where you can walk out on your job and still have job security. Why? Because there's no one that's going to come and take that job making that type of pay, and that's just the honest to God truth. So when it really comes down to it, look at our colleges. Our school of educations are dwindling because people are not going into the teaching profession. So keep messing around, and at a certain point, we're not going to have to worry about this at all, because you're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody to do that job.
Thank you, Erica. And I'm not putting your business out there, but I know that you and your husband are possibly looking for a home. What's the first question everybody asks when they sit down with a realtor?
What's the school district?
What are the school districts like? And when you start letting your schools fall apart, that's where your neighborhood starts falling apart. So let's
it's a trickle-down effect.
Yes, definitely.
Wow. DBL Nation, chime in. Okay. And you wouldn't know it by his tough guy exterior. This is a really important story. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had a secret battle with depression. He told the British newspaper that his toughest time was failing to make it as a pro football player. And his darkest moment happened when he was just 15 years old. That's when his mother tried to commit suicide by walking into oncoming traffic. Johnson says he pulled her back and saved her life, and he now uses that experience to help others. Wow.
I love this. I love this story.
Why do you love this story
just
so
because
much?
I get inspired by people like this, stories like this, and just hearing the depression. I've never been through depression, but my wife openly went through, you know, her postpartum depression, and it never hit so close to home to me as it did, you know, a couple of years ago with Jordan. And everything in my life that I have or that I learned from is from failure. And The Rock, not saying that depression is a failure, but he learned from it. He learned from his mom walking into traffic. He knew he wanted a better life for himself, and that's exactly what I did. He would not be The Rock today if he had not gone through what he went through as a child.
And I would say a lot of people, unfortunately, you got me emotional just speaking about your wife, because I also went through postpartum depression, as you know, and I can't even describe the feelings, because I, you know, before was such like a bubbly person, and then when I went through that clinical depression, I would drive to work and pray that I would get hit by a car. And I was just a new mom. Like, saying that out loud now makes me like shudder, but it also makes me understand that clinical depression is something that doesn't discriminate, clearly with The Rock.
Jordan had the exact same feeling. Exact same feeling. And I'm sure other people watching you right now had that same feeling. So don't feel like you're...
But you do feel like a failure,
I know, but
even though when you shouldn't. And I'm not saying that because I do not want to perpetuate that stigma. Trust me, if anything, we need to break the stigma down.
Definitely.
More than anything,
and
talk
who better
about
than The Rock?
Talk about
I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to the fact that we're all just people, you know, and we can all experience things the same way that everyone else does. It doesn't matter if, you know, you were one of the highest paid actors last year or you weren't. I mean, at the end of the day, all of the things that we go through are a part of the human condition, and the fact that he's been such a motivation and such inspiration. I mean, I listen to his stuff almost every single morning just to get out of bed a lot of times. So I think that we really need to look at each other as just another person.
Amen.
I love it. And talk about it, too.
Yep.
That's very important, because Jordan waited a long time to, I know we have to move on, but she waited a long time to tell me, and it wasn't until we got her
I know we have to move. Can I just ask one question? I don't understand, maybe you guys can answer this for me. Why do you think that we don't talk about mental health? We talk about if somebody was like, oh, I think I have the signs for lupus, or I think I might have asthma. You would say go to the doctor, but like no one talks about mental health.
Because there's decades and decades and decades of stigma that before, I mean, you look at people before used to categorize it as demons taking over the body.
Yeah.
You know, just 50 years ago. So we have to overcome these stigmas, and Dr. Drew has always said, treat above the neck like you would below the neck. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we break down that stigma, the more lives we will save. And I just want to close it with this. If anyone watching right now, if anyone is going through a crisis, depressed, contemplating suicide, you can confidentially text HOME, HOME 741-741. We will put that on our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and like I said, it's confidential, and it will give you the tools to get yourself some help. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. That was a really important conversation. I'm so glad that we delved right into it. Kathy Griffin's comeback effort ramps up tonight as the comedian is set to play Kellyanne Conway on Comedy Central's The President Show. Kathy has been clawing her way back after she posted a video of herself holding the president's severed head last year. The picture saw her blacklisted from Hollywood and fired from her annual CNN New Year's gig with Anderson Cooper. Now, you had, Jeff, a very strong opinion about her. Do you think, and Erica, I'm going to go to you after Jeff because you're always one to champion a comeback. Does she deserve her comeback?
This is kind of how my heart works. You know what I mean? I give everybody a chance. You know what I mean? And then if they continue to do what they do, I almost start to dislike them. You know what I mean? If they still continue what they do, I'm done with you. And you know what? I'm kind of at the point where I'm done with Kathy Griffin. It's not like I don't care if she comes back. I don't care if she goes back on tour. I don't care what she does. She ostracized her. She made a living making fun of like other celebrities. Off-putting. I laugh too. That's fine. But then she wonders why no one's there for her when when she needs someone, because she made a career off of making fun of other people. Then she does something like this. I have nothing left for her.
Okay, Erica, is this her comeback? Does she deserve a comeback?
I think she absolutely deserves a comeback, and most people in like Jeff's position, they never started with her, so it's not fair to be done with her. I think that at the end of the day, it's up to her fan base and the people who were there in the beginning if they're going to return. If she came to Denver, I would absolutely buy a ticket because I believe everyone is deserving of the comeback that they're willing to earn.
Amen. And speaking of a comeback, Tracy Morgan, comedian Tracy Morgan is back. He's got a new show on TBS premiering tonight, and it looks hilarious. It's about a man returning to society after 15 years in prison. Check out this sneak preview.
I used to be just like y'all. Check your own potential, man.
Actually, sorry to interrupt.
Let's go to brunch! Ah, the woman!
What happened to Brooklyn? Before.
Hey, get the back before I knock your out. You have a moment to save the polar ice caps?
Oh. Half calf, no foam mocha latte with an extra shot of espresso split into 2 cups.
This morning, he stopped by the Today Show to reflect on his journey after a car wreck nearly took his life back in 2014. Watch.
It was 3 years ago, June 7th. But imagine where my mind is right now.
Where?
I remember being in that wheelchair, not knowing if I was going to walk again or not knowing my name. And now I'm premiering tonight. So it feels good, and I got to shout out to the fans. I love you, and God bless you. Thank you for your love and support.
Yeah.
Amen.
So, did they channel your coffee order for that scene? Sam, tell everybody your coffee order.
Okay, okay, Tori. You don't need to chant. Do it. It's a grande matcha latte with almond milk, extra hot, no syrup added. It's not that bad, is it?
That's everyone's reaction who takes that order. Tracy Morgan.
Sorry, I'm particular, but I'm proud of him.
I'm super proud of him. I mean, I want you to speak because I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet him, but
I've worked
his
with him
delivery and
several times.
cadence and the way he just talks makes me laugh.
And just
makes me
like
smile.
you talk about a comeback, I mean, the accident that he was in, my good friend Artie Fuqua was in that accident. Was on. He opened for Tracy. He was in there as well. I mean, what I initially heard is that there was not going to be a comeback. So the fact that we're watching this clip and that he's back to being Tracy is nothing short of a miracle. So well done by the people taking care of him. Good luck to him and my girl Tiffany on the show.
Yep,
all right.
How inspiring. We are live. Digital producer Kelly Schuberth with news at the moment.
Yes, Sam. Right now, Prince Philip is in the hospital preparing for surgery. Buckingham Palace says Queen Elizabeth's 96-year-old husband is having surgery for his hip, and the procedure will happen tomorrow morning. Philip has missed several events recently because of his pain, but sources say he'll be recovered in time to hit the dance floor for Meghan and Harry's wedding. I'll keep you updated and let you know how the surgery goes.
Aw, well, that's good that he'll be in prime shape for the wedding.
I don't know about prime shape, but he'll be there.
A new trailer starring Kevin Hart and it girl Tiffany Haddish was just released. Ebony Steele has your first look coming in hot.
Ooh, get the medicine for the high blood pressure because Salty Al is here. All right, Kevin Hart works as a salesman who loses his job and must go back to high school to get his GED. His teacher is none other than the hardest working woman in show business right now, Tiffany Haddish. Watch as they head back to class in the new movie, Night School.
I was a couple credits shy of graduating. I got to get my GED.
My name is Carrie. I'm here to make a little extra cash so that I can afford this warrant that I got. But that's none of y'all business. Welcome to night school.
You trying to get your GED?
Yes.
You can get out my way.
My suspicions were correct. Boom. You're clinically dumb.
I got learning herpes? I got the gift to keep on giving? Boy.
All right, Night School. It hits theaters September 28th. DBL Nation, are we going? Team, we going? Huh?
Yeah. Woo! We're going.
That means you're not going.
Well, I haven't seen a movie since I was before pregnant.
I know.
Does that make sense? Before I was pregnant. You know what I mean.
We got you.
What's going on, DBL? We got you, Sam. All right, Atlanta housewife Kenya Moore comes after arch enemy Vivica A. Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, get your sunglasses on. It's about to get shady in Reality Roundup, and later...
I think that all women who have gone through infertility just feel a certain bond with other women.
A mother gives the gift of life to complete strangers. This deeply personal donation she's making after a lab mishap destroyed thousands of eggs and embryos. You don't want to miss it. it looks like I'm talking to myself. This is called the IFB, and we actually have it molded to our ears. Al got some of his stuck, and he had to go to the hospital and get it taken out. It's not funny. That's not funny. It was a little funny. As for Sierra McKenzie, Al suggested Al and me do a comedy show. I've already been thinking about it, Sierra, and I think something might happen. Just so you guys know, when I say that, I've told no one who's of import, so that might not happen, but I would like it to happen. I'm also wondering about some, over here, guys, interested in drugstore hacks. I'm gonna look for some drugstore makeup. I'm gonna look for some hacks for house planning and dinner parties. So I'm gonna try and move into hacks. If you guys are into that, let me know. I'm just trying to get your reaction. Also, one more time, pan down, jeans. For the first time allowed. Huh? I look like a bull ready to go into a bull ring. But I'm very excited because we get to wear jeans and it makes me feel a little bit more grounded. As a comic, you don't dress up. If you dress up, you look weird. So what you're about to see is Reality Roundup. We're gonna give a little behind the scenes here. That's Patty, she produces it. And Ebony's getting her shade of the day. And just so you guys know about these chairs, they're very uncomfortable when you're short. So you have to sit like this and be like, I'm fine. I look awesome. So that's how I feel. So watch what happens and let us know what you guys think about the hacks. Do you like the idea? Do you not like the idea? Our hacks 2016. I want to know your input. I really like to make things easier for people so that they can spend a little bit of time on themselves and some positivity, which is what I'm trying to do in my life. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Stay tuned.
It's now time for Reality Roundup, where we discuss the best and the worst moments in reality TV. Yes, girl.
Yes, girls.
All right, on Vanderpump Rules, let's get right to it.
Yes.
A new scandal erupted. Did Kristen and James hook up? What?
Exhibit A, the crime scene.
That was supposed to be a sound effect there. I don't think it worked well. That's okay. We're off to a good start.
Good, we're killing it. We're killing it.
Don't worry. Detective Jax is on the case.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Exhibit A, the crime scene. Kristen, Doty, drinking alone. Suspicious? I think so. James, a social drinker as well, would never drink alone. Heard me coming and fled the scene. Pillows are oddly arranged. The smoking gun. I rest my case.
Ooh, looks like he discovered it. What's interesting is clearly they all get paid to make an ass of themselves. Did you guys see the article that said how much money they make?
How much?
Are
Please
you ready?
don't break my
Are you ready?
heart. Yes.
Here we go. Jax, 25 G's an episode.
Oh my God.
Stassi, Kristen, and Tom, 15 G's.
Oh my God.
Sheena Marie, 10K an episode.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess you're selling your soul and you making your family embarrassed. You gotta, I don't
Get
know.
paid.
Well,
Get paid for it while you
better
do it.
invest that long into your later years, because good luck finding employment after that.
Imagine Jax, he's like 100 years old at Pump. Do you guys want shots? You want shots?
Jello shots.
Jello shots.
Geritol shot.
There you go.
It's now time for Miss Ebony Steele to deliver her shade of the day.
Girl, bye. All right. Well, the shade of the day comes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta's season finale, and it features Kenya Moore. Kenya reignites a feud with her former Celebrity Apprentice castmate, Vivica A. Fox. Kenya caught Vivica's performance in a play, and here was her review.
That's what I wanted to do. But like I said, Vivica's performance is the same performance. It was just 20 years ago and 20 surgeries ago.
Well, shade doesn't discriminate with your looks or age. Kenya felt the need to bring it to the big stage. Old beef between Vivica and her still seems to live and linger. Sat in the audience talking trash about her face and even pointed her finger. Girl, we've all had our good and bad days. There are moments we may all look strange. But Kenya, be careful, girl. She might have you in her book. You give her $1 and just like 50 Cent, she might give you some change.
We are live. Digital producer Brett Forrest has news at this moment.
The Masters golf tournament tees off this week, and while Tiger Woods is making headlines, it's a list of banned words that has us buzzing. Golf magazine Bunkered reports that security staff at Augusta National were handed a list of sayings that are prohibited this year. It includes the popular Bud Light phrase, dilly dilly. If you shout it, you will be kicked out. This comes as golf fans have gotten a bit rowdy lately. Justin Thomas, Sergio Garcia, and Rory McIlroy have all had fans ejected this year after they kept yelling during play. I've reached out to the Masters to learn what other sayings are banned, so I will keep you updated.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like it's silly, silly. They can't say dilly dilly.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Did you mess up my shade of the day for that?
I know.
All right, a devastating mishap destroys thousands of human eggs and embryos, but the story does not end there. Up next, you have to meet this woman. She took it upon herself to literally donate the gift of life to others who want to be moms. Stay tuned.
About to see is this yes. Sam? Yeah. So Sam's going to do this piece on someone, and I know you guys heard a little bit about.
Her name's Nikki Schaefer.
Thank you. And people they lost 4,000 embryos in a basically a human error mechanical problem with the freezer, and a lot of women don't have viable eggs anymore. And it broke all of our hearts. And Sam interviewed someone that's doing so. I don't want to give it away, but what I want to know is, would you do it at home? And Sam, without saying what they would do you have an answer? Would you do this for someone else?
I would.
And then now you're going to really want to watch.
I would if I had those embryos. Because it is a process. You know,
it's hard.
I do know people that have gone through IVF, and you got to get shots. You got to put, inject hormones in your body. So you can't just say, here's my egg. And
you're right. You went through a journey for that.
You went through a journey. It's very costly. So if I had embryos stored, and because you'll find out in the interview, there's two circumstances with those embryos. You either have had the children, because let's say you had 6 viable embryos, you had 2 kids, and then you're like, what do I do with the other 4?
Do I just keep them in the freezer?
Yeah, maybe we'll have a sibling in 2 years. So there's people like that are like, you know what? We're not going to have a sibling in 3 years. I'm going to donate. Or you have someone that literally had their 2 embryos, hoping to use those 2 embryos to start a family, and then that was taken away from them when that freezer failed. I can't imagine.
Can you imagine going through all of that journey and then not having them?
And you may not get a viable embryo again.
Anyway, ever.
It's heart-wrenching. There's an incredible woman, Nikki Schaefer, that you're going to see the interview.
It's a cool
interview,
and
what she does is absolutely selfless, and just stay tuned.
So what I want to ask, thanks Sam, she has to go get ready, guys, but this is a hard question. I want you guys to look into yourself. Would you, you're going to find out what she did, would you do this for someone else? It comes a little bit like organ transplants. There's a lot of stuff going on. So let me know what you guys think and enjoy the interview.
Time now for the extra shot. It's the story that made you say, give me another round, since it's so uplifting. And today it's a mother who made the difficult choice to give away her embryos to help other women fulfill their dreams to have a family.
Families clinging to the hope of having a child have been devastated after 4,000 eggs and embryos were destroyed at an Ohio fertility clinic after the freezer system failed. Enter Nikki Schaefer. She knows both the struggles and joy of in vitro fertilization. Her 2 children are the result of IVF treatments. Nikki knows what the destruction of the embryos means to those families. In a Facebook post, Nikki announced plans to donate her 4 remaining embryos to families affected by the tragedy, and she's calling for other women to consider doing the same.
Nikki Schaefer joins us now. Nikki, when you heard about the destruction of the embryos at the fertility clinic near you, what compelled you to donate your eggs, and was it a hard decision to make?
So I knew a lot of the patients that had eggs and embryos in that freezer.
Wow.
And then as a person who struggled with infertility myself, it is a community that I feel obviously incredibly connected to. And I had 4 embryos that I was never quite sure what to do with. So that confluence of people and events sort of made what was a very difficult choice up until that point an easy choice.
Absolutely. And you also posted your decision publicly on Facebook. Have other women contacted you directly asking how they can follow your lead?
Yes, I think I'm up to about 15 women who have contacted me. I have been totally overwhelmed by the response. And I also think that some people have contacted the fertility center directly and not gone through me.
Nikki, you've gone through infertility and IVF. What would you say to a woman who receives your embryo?
First of all, I'm sorry because my daughter can be a little difficult sometimes, and they are technically her siblings. They were made in the same cycle. But, you know, I think what always made me feel better when I was dealing with failed fertility treatments is trying again. And I hope that these embryos will be that chance for someone to try again. Because I think it's that hope of being pregnant, of having that baby you always imagined for yourself, that helps you get through those dark times of infertility.
Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so honored to speak with you, and thank you for sharing your very personal story. I'm so touched by your selflessness.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
You guys would be really interested in that. Chris D wrote me and says I would donate for others. I'm not a mom. I'm 36. I don't have embryos. I didn't freeze my eggs. And it's like, I would say right now, of course I would, but I don't know if I'd be there. I would hope that I would be as selfless as Nikki Schaefer. Didn't you think that was a great story?
I was in the washroom.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. So that's what happens. Sometimes not everyone's paying the same amount of attention, a lot of hosts. So back to what you guys were writing about, the hacks I wanted to write in. Are you guys more interested, and I'm just getting your opinion because it's easy, on food and parties and house stuff, or more like clothing, beauty, fashion? I just want to know, I'm getting consensus from everybody. Would you rather, again, see like dinner party stuff or wine or how to save vegetables and all that stuff? Or would you rather me do stuff that's like how to get a dupe eyeshadow or how to use your concealer as also your foundation? So let me know what you guys think. I can do both. Also for the dudes out there, some dudes wear makeup. That's not to say that's not for the dudes as well, but would you like more lifestyle or more like house and fix-it stuff, like to do DIY? So let me know what you guys think right on Facebook or YouTube. And this is how the show works. I'm basing it off of you. I'm basically making you the producer and I'm not paying you. That's how it works. Thank you.
your program.
Welcome back to DBL. We have one funny moment from earlier in the show. Let's take a look.
Smartphones and computers can actually cause injuries.
Imagine explaining that to your great-grandfather that got back from the war that I have gamer thumb.
Gamer thumb,
What an embarrassing generation we are of weak people.
Ooh, tell that to my husband, who's a graphic designer and spends all day long looking at a computer screen.
I was hanging with your husband last night after you bailed on the game, so yeah, I'll tell him.
Mama had to pump and go to bed early. The stories never stop. We don't either. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Keep the conversation going. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
I sure did. Hi, guys. I did. Hi, guys. Sometimes the hosts keep things to ourselves. So you guys are talking about hacks. Connor, let's walk on over here. Connor, yes. Would you be interested? A lot of people are writing in. I was saying about hacks. What most people want to see on our show is it eating and cooking.
I thought you were saying hats.
Why would I spend so much time on although hats are important. They can make an outfit.
Oh, they can.
And they can break an outfit. You know what I mean? The hacks. Would you be interested in doing makeup hacks?
Yeah.
Drugstore makeup.
Hacks are great. Yes, I love drugstore makeup.
So maybe you guys, what we'll do is, and I know Jeray is also really interested, we could do a little drugstore cowgirl thing and do me up, but only using drugstore.
Oh,
and maybe
that's
some hacks
easy.
instead.
We can make you look
You
so
haven't
good.
seen me without makeup. It's not going to be that easy. So I love your idea, guys, Connor and Jeray, incorporating them in this. So I'm going to reach out to the actual producers. You are my other producers, who I don't end up paying. Wanted to find out what you guys are. Oh, watch out. Makeup tips for prom and all that stuff. That's exciting. So we are interested in hearing what you guys have to say. The fifth host today is whether, Roseanne, you're watching for politics or the family. And Panera just breached 37 million customers with names, addresses, birthdays, account numbers. And what we're asking is, should you be held accountable as Panera to compensate? Do you want a free cookie? Do you want an apology? Do you want an acknowledgement? Do you want to never shop there again? What's your response to all of these data breaches that are happening over and over and again? Let me know what your thoughts are. Facebook, YouTube. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Daily Blast Live. Marriage over for Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dewan. If they can't last, who can? Class dismissed. As thousands of teachers walk out again, demanding more money and more resources. Plus, comedian Tracy Morgan's second chance at life. A sneak peek at his hilarious new show, The Last OG, that debuts tonight. Is the president responsible for Roseanne's ratings? You won't believe her response. And it all starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Joining us today is guest co-host Erin Elmore. Erin will be with us all week. So happy to have you here. Thank you. Let's get right to it because we have a lot of top trending stories that are creating quite the reaction online, and I can't wait to hear your take, Erin. This story is not going away. Nope. Ted Nugent is again bashing school shooting survivors. It's one of the top trending stories on Twitter. The singer and NRA board member is continuing his criticism of David Hogg, doubling down on his comments he made previously about him. Listen to what Nugent said on the Curtis and Crosby show.
I don't have anything to say to David Hogg. This guy's a lost cause, and he is part of the problem, not the solution. He could have been a positive force. Now he's gone off on a tangent, failing to put focus on meaningful solutions.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. For me personally, okay, I don't go left or right. I try to ride in the middle, and I know people don't like that stance either. But I don't like extremists on either side. This is a child who just went through something that was very traumatic. Don't worry, let me finish. And I mean, I talked to some of the survivors of Parkland. I didn't walk in their shoes, but I got to get an inside look of what they went through. Nobody should be talking to a 17-year-old child like this that went through what they went through. That's just my personal opinion.
The tragedy is horrible. We all agree with that. But let's get down to brass tacks here. This is a 17-year-old kid who is tackling some of the biggest issues in our country for years. The Second Amendment, the NRA.
He's not going against the Second Amendment. He wants reform.
Okay, fine. He's taking on Fox News. He's taking on a portion of the NRA because the NRA doesn't want that kind of reform. Having said all of that, if you're going to try to take on these organizations of scale, please be prepared for the backlash. Please don't say they're bullying me. You need to be tough. He's not being tough. He's being a weak little
Al, I'm going to let you chime in because you're about to jump in.
Also, let me say this, please. I am a member of the NRA. I have shotguns, and people do have that Second Amendment constitutional. There's pictures of me on screen.
That's awesome. I'm also a defender of the Second Amendment. I also own guns, and I also grew up shooting guns as the daughter of a two-time Vietnam veteran.
Amazing.
Now, I also believe that we need gun reform. I also have a child. I know you're a mother as well. I do not want my daughter, Sophie, going to school fearing for her life.
This isn't a heartstrings issue for me. In the massacre that just occurred in Florida, Sheriff Israel didn't do his job. The sheriff on staff at the school didn't do his job. In the Texas shooting at the church, it was outside of San Antonio. The man had a criminal record. They didn't report it, so he was able to get a gun. So if you're going to rely on these reforms, they simply do not work.
We need more reform, in my opinion.
I mean, and not to get off, I feel like we're getting off of what Ted Nugent said. And, you know, it's so interesting to hear you defend him.
Without a doubt.
I mean, this is a person that referred to our former sitting President Obama as a piece of S. He said that he's made comments that he thinks life would be better if the South had won the war. You know, he accused Al Sharpton of using Ebonics. I mean, he's had a career of saying inflammatory things. So I feel like the fact that he said this to David Hogg isn't shocking to me at all.
His nickname is the Motor City Madman, and what he wants to do to be a part of the society is incite change of his own. Also, I listened to the full 12-minute audio of what he said on the show with Rita and Curtis Silva.
I did too.
And what he said was, David Hogg had an opportunity here to be a voice and a face for change. Excuse me. And he did, and he does. But he then proceeded to say, if you're a member of the NRA, you support killing of children. You lost me right there. Okay, you lost all credibility at that point.
I'm sorry, Ebony, you can chime in on our next topic. We got to get to the next topic. DBL Nation, please also chime in. Clearly, we could speak about this forever. The parent company of the National Enquirer is hitting back at ex-Playboy model Karen McDougal. She is suing the company, claiming they purchased her story about her alleged 10-month affair with Donald Trump in 2006. Then they buried it. Now, the parent company says it's their First Amendment right not to publish the story, and they've asked a judge to dismiss the lawsuit. Ebony, should the judge dismiss the lawsuit here, or does Karen McDougal have a case?
Oh, gosh, this one is really, really tough, because I think when you sign something, and I'm with you guys, what does it mean if you sign something and then you want to go back on it? Now, as far as Karen McDougal is concerned, she thought that her story, she wanted to get her story back, but at the same time, the agreement with them also was for her to be able to write and publish stories with them. So I guess the question is, can you separate the two, or if it's one big thing altogether, I'm sorry, boo. When you sign it, it's over. And the judge shouldn't have to turn it over if that's what it was. You can't just make a contract be convenient for you when it's convenient for you.
I disagree with her, and I know you're an attorney, but
it appears that this is a legally binding contract and that Karen McDougal is just seeking greater financial compensation.
No.
Sorry,
Erin.
You signed it.
Yeah, but they have not. National Enquirer, first of all, Ronan Farrow wrote a very telling piece exposing the National Enquirer doing this catch and kill strategy over and over and over again, where they will buy the rights of a story and then bury it to appease a specific person, aka Donald Trump in this case.
That is not illegal.
Okay, that's fine. But they also promised her, as Ebony said, in writing, you can write this amount of articles, you can buy in 2 covers of the magazine. If they did not fulfill their obligations per the contract, does that not
void
make
that contract?
If that is, I tried to find this contract online prior to the show, and I could not find the terms
If that was
of
in the contract.
If that was in the contract, yes. However, for the sake of argument, let's say it wasn't. They just said, here is a payoff of $150,000. We may use you in X, Y, or Z capacity. Then okay, but what I believe this contract is saying is, here's $150,000, and we may use you, we may not. And guess what? They may not.
Well, is their First Amendment right here, the parent company, is their First Amendment right, can it be exercised? Because the freedom of speech is also the freedom not to speak. So can they bury the story based on that?
I mean, you have to abide by the terms of a contract.
Isn't there ethics? Is there not ethics, Erin?
We're talking about a magazine that has an alien birthday of a sister.
But they also have there's a parent company here where they have other magazines.
They do stories about Bigfoot. So who's reading that?
But the parent company has other publications that aren't as salacious as National Enquirer. We got to move on. I'm getting this. Gosh, we just have really good stories today. All right, shocking news and very sad news about Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dewan. The couple announced they are separating after nearly 9 years of marriage. They released a joint statement on Instagram saying, in part, absolutely nothing has changed about how much we love one another, but love is a beautiful adventure that is taking us on different paths for now. The couple first met in 2006 on the set of the movie Step Up, and Jenna recently posted their original audition tape. Just look at their chemistry together.
Right.
I'm Jenna Dewan.
Channing Tatum. Hi.
Hi. Oh, come on, you're pretty good.
Nah.
You said you did some sausage.
Channing.
Don't act like that's stuck.
What do you mean?
What's
boring?
What is boring about it?
I don't want to just watching a couple sashay around. They're just trying to get booked on a part.
These are both classically trained dancers. They have a lot in common. They loved each other, and they had that one thing. A lot of couples don't make it because they don't have any common interests to share. And they clearly.
I would make the argument that they did make it. I think that you're not going to meet.
They didn't make it. They're divorcing.
They did, but they had 9 good years. What if they just strung it out and were just sad for the better part for appearances? I like that they came out and they were like, this isn't working anymore. We're going to go in different directions. We still love each other.
Saying that they're separating, not divorcing.
True.
So I actually think that they may work this out and get back together. I just really think they will.
I hope they do. They have a child.
They do. Almost a 5-year-old, same as my son, which is sad. However, we are opining over celebrity culture here. They live their life on Instagram with makeup artists and personal trainers and plastic surgeons and nannies. The average American is sitting at home working 2 and 3 jobs with cellulite and stretch mark and screaming babies and mortgages and past due bills. I think that us worrying about celebrity culture is depressing to the average American.
Well, what we just saw a second ago really wasn't them, people pining over them yet. They didn't have hair, makeup, and stylists and stuff like that.
And Jeff, I know you said earlier you're sad for them because you kind of thought like they're the example.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't pine over them, but I do see my wife and myself in them. They've been together 9 years. We're together 9 years. I don't pine over them, or I'm not going to shed a tear over it, but I do feel like when something falls apart, you know, I take marriage very seriously. And when it falls apart like that, I get sad a little bit. It doesn't mean that my life's over. I'm not going to keep going. But I like to have relationship goals.
I just don't understand with marriages.
I can look at them.
Why do we look at marriages as a different? It's a relationship that you have. If you were with 10 different people over 10 years and they were long-term relationships, I think that's just as good.
But marriage is supposed to be forever.
It's supposed to be, but they're not.
But you have peaks and valleys. But there's been times in my marriage, and I've only been married, gosh, 8 years now. There's been times where I was like, I'm so over my husband. But guess what? 2 months later, I'm so in love with my husband. There's peaks and valleys. What if I would have left
How long are you going to stay in that valley, though? What if you never come out of that valley?
But I think the separation is good, because sometimes that's why you need at least 2-3 weeks vacation from a job, because you need to step out of it.
Why do you got to put it on Instagram? Get it off the internet.
But they were, I love the beginning of their love.
Well, moving on.
It's always great in the beginning.
Let's have some celebration for something.
Yes.
Big congratulations to Villanova.
That's right.
My Wildcats.
Yes.
Alma mater. Oh, okay.
High five on that one. High five on that one.
The Wildcats won the NCAA College Basketball Championship last night. They beat Michigan 79-62 in San Antonio, Texas, taking home their 2nd national title in 3 years. But it's never too early to predict next year's winner, huh? Digital producer Brett Forrest has the odds for next year at this moment.
You're absolutely right, Sam. Las Vegas is already betting on next year's winner. Odds makers are taking Duke as the favorite in 2019, giving them 5-1 odds. Following Duke is this year's champ Villanova, along with Kansas and Kentucky. And honestly, none of those picks are too surprising. A smart person would say it's too early to make some bets, but I am not a smart person, so go ahead and make those bets. Al, I am talking to you.
I got you. I'll talk to you after the break.
Al knows all about sports, but I read a quote that was online that the coach of Villanova said, Jay Wright, he said, Villanovans do 3 things well together. We pray together, watch basketball together, and we drink together. So I bet last night they had a couple of drinks.
Yeah. Congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, congrats. Erica, what's coming up on DBL?
Day 2 of teacher walkouts. Will thousands of educators get the money and classroom resources they're demanding? Plus, Kathy's comeback. We'll reveal the controversial role Kathy Griffin's taking on for a new Comedy Central special. And President Trump takes credit for Roseanne's ratings. Does he have a point, or is it all her? We share your comments live.
So you guys are writing in, and a lot of people are loving what Erin has to say. She keeps it real. She's very honest. Do you guys think, really quick, that here's a question for you. Do you think that Channing and Jenna Dewan, do you think that, in your opinion, if they broke up, let's say they did, they shouldn't have announced it that way on Instagram?
No, I'm pretty sure they did.
No, I'm sure they did. No,
you wouldn't come out with an announcement
I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, they're
but
done.
would you have put it on, and Erin was saying, why put it on the internet? And I'm saying, even in the writing, it was saying, we wish we didn't have to do this, but we're celebrities.
I think you have an obligation, being of their stature, that you have to do that. It also makes life a lot easier on that point. Like, listen,
you get ahead of the story.
You're not getting any rumors, you're not reading a tabloid. We are done. We both love each other. We're going to continue to love our kid.
you know, if you happen to go through that, I think that's the way for your child. You need to go through that. So I actually applaud them for doing that way. Now, what happens behind closed doors, if they really feel that way, that's another story.
Who knows?
But at least they're putting their persona out to the public. Hey, we love each other still. Our child's going to be well taken care of, and we respect each other. And that's what's important.
I think you're absolutely right. When you get ahead of the story, if they hadn't posted it, someone, let's say the National Enquirer, would have leaked something
There's
and
a picture
started a
of
whole
him with another girl, her with another man.
So they got ahead of it.
You get ahead of it, and then
smart,
you just
smart
nip
way
it
to
in the
do it.
bud. Honesty is the best policy if you want to get out. You know what I mean? You just got to be honest with it and go and move forward. And life's going to be life. You know, some people make it, some people don't. Relationships make it, some don't. You know, that's just my point of view. And I look to them because because I don't relate to them in any way other than, you know, they've been together for 9 years, and so me and my wife.
Somewhat you're in the spotlight.
They met on a movie, we met on a TV show. It's like, it's not at all the same story, but it's like, I kind of look to other celebrity relationships, and I'm like, wow, they made it work. It could work because there's so much negativity that people break up. It's so bad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, there are things to hold on to that work. You know what I mean? There are other people
That's
that
true.
work.
Brandy Sprong says, my husband and I are going through a tough time, but working on it will come through it. Married almost 10 years, would never think about leaving him. So there's two different ways of thought here.
High five.
High five cyber through the cyberspace. All right, thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live, the only live show that covers trending stories live, no matter where you're watching. Roseanne is back tonight after 18 million viewers tuned in last week. You might remember President Trump taking credit for the reboot's success, but the real Roseanne thinks otherwise.
I gotta get your thoughts on President Trump taking credit for your ratings.
It's all me. This got you, our fifth host, talking. Take it away, Sam Shocker.
Boy, did it. We asked, are the huge ratings because of the cast or the politics? Well, you, the fifth host, had a lot to say. Stacey says Roseanne absolutely hits tough topics head on and doesn't beat around the bush. Ella says, I will watch Roseanne for the comedy, of course. There was a really great article that we were reading before the show that said that a lot of conservative women now feel like that they can comfortably and confidently come out of that closet, the Trump supporter closet, because of a show like Roseanne. Do you agree with that?
We're called the silent majority for a reason. You can't pick up a fashion magazine or turn on a television without Hillary being jammed down your throat. We're sitting in silence saying, hey, we support President Trump. This was sort of that breath of fresh air where we can come out and say, we can watch television, we can possibly read fashion magazines because we have a voice out there. And that's why I think Roseanne did so well.
Ebony?
I think it's a combination of everything. I think it's realistic what people want to see on TV. And it doesn't have to be so polarizing where sometimes we have this divide. If I believe this and you believe that, we can't come together. But I think it represents what families actually do. When they disagree, at the end of the day, they still come and sit together at the table and have dinner together and without any discord.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Gina says, I'm watching Roseanne because it reminds me of the 80s. Very simple, a nostalgic factor.
I don't think the 80s were that great.
Do you?
Yeah, I love the 80s.
Me too.
Financially, it was horrible for the country.
We're talking about fun,
okay. I'm just saying. And first of all,
and movies,
the movies,
and clothes,
movies and music. The clothes were terrible. The clothes were horrible.
Yeah, but it's fun.
The hair was fun.
You dress up like 80s hair
We had a great president.
I wear 80s clothes every weekend, pretty much. So you're pretty much saying that I dress poorly.
Yeah, you're more of a 90s grunge girl.
Look at Tori. She loved the 80s.
So what do you got to say to Tori right now, huh?
That makes my point. That was horrendous.
Speaking of Tori, attention Barbra Streisand fans, there's a new book being released that you do not want to miss. Tori Shulman, I thought you were adorable, and you have the details coming in hot.
Yeah, I now know I'm not talking to Albert anymore. All right, a new book about my favorite, Barbra Streisand, comes out next Tuesday, and it has been never-before photos of Streisand in the 60s. Now, the photos are taken by photographer Bill Epridge, and it follows a young 20-something Streisand going from washing clothes in a bathtub to the kitchen of her New York City apartment through traveling to Rome and Paris and becoming a fashion icon. Now, the book, Becoming Barbra, hits shelves April 10th. I hope she's watching. Barbra, can you hear me? Barbra, can you see me?
That's the walk of shame, folks.
Well, that woke me up after that. How boring is that book going to be?
Follow her. Daily Blast Live is all about news as it's happening. Erica, please help us out here.
Well, from a nearly fatal car crash to a brand new show, Tracy Morgan reveals what got him through the hard times. And baseball blunder, why the Houston Astros had to whip out a leaf blower to unveil their World Series banner.
Hi guys, I hope you guys like my Barbara Streisand. Nice, Tori. Love you guys. Love Barbara, Stacey Sorber. What's interesting is, oh, you guys are liking Tori. Oh my God. Oh, you're talking about, okay. All these people start writing in, I thought it was about me singing. You guys are talking about myself when I was a little kid. And to be super honest, that was my very first play, and I played a rock star, and I think I nailed it. What do you think?
That was a great picture.
Didn't you think that was cute?
It was super 80s.
It was my mom's outfits with her hard rock stuff, and I did my hair purple.
Meanwhile, all of us here have hard rock. Orlando, Illinois. You're in Tokyo.
Yeah. They went to Tokyo.
What a nice childhood.
I had a lovely childhood, and I'm very, very grateful for it, and I work very hard and have a good work ethic. So, guys,
that's why we debate on this show, because I don't believe that to be true at all. I'm just joking.
You don't see me every day in the breaks doing the hard labor. So I'm not. Oh my God, we're gonna go crazy today. So guys, what I want to know about this is coming up. We're doing Al Sounds Off. We have some funny videos. What do you guys think is your favorite 80s icon? I'm going to go to the hosts. Guys, real quick, 80s icon. Think about it, your favorite 80s icon.
What was the Cosby Show? Was that 90s?
No, that.
Oh, Lisa Bonet?
Oh, yes.
No, I like the
who?
Felicia Rashad.
Oh, Felicia Rashad's great. She's more 90s, though, I think. Who's like your favorite 80s moment?
Oh,
like
God.
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper,
That's a great answer.
sure. Molly Ringwald.
Oh, wait, I got one more. Punky Brewster.
Yeah, I did a show with her. What? So nice.
Nice?
Very, very.
Even more.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time now for Al Sounds Off. When comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he could find.
Let's do this.
Let's get wild, Al. All right, winning a title is never easy, right? But for the Houston Astros, revealing their 2017 championship pennant, it was just as hard. Check this out.
Jeff, this is definitely an epic fail, but that's baseball. You fail more than you succeed.
Right.
But just looking at this, it reminds me of that line that I always live my life by. It kills the mood if it takes that long to get it off. Let's go to the next one.
Words to live by, Al. Trying to just open the very first car vending machine. That's right, vending machine, Al. Check this out.
Yeah, Jeff, this is China, where I go to get all my American cars. I just don't understand this. This is an American guy who's lucky enough to go to China. He then goes and gets a Ford Mustang. I mean, way to immerse yourself in the culture. What are you going to do next? Drive to a Dave & Buster's? Do better, homie. Let's go to the next one.
All right, our last video here, Al, will leave you saying, you've got to be kidding me.
Jeff, this reminds me of my other favorite rule in life. Never play with the kitty cat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly,
sneaky kitty.
Yeah, it's a sneaky kitty. Don't ever do your finger like that. I mean, it was definitely, I mean, it's got a cat treat underneath it. So, of course, the cat's going to find it. It's like if you put a roast beef sandwich under a bucket, I'm going to get it. So, all right, I'm calling you out, cat. That's it.
All right, that's it, everybody. That's comedian Al Jackson. That was Al Sounds Off. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Well, right now, Bed Bath & Beyond is offering to honor your Toys R Us gift cards. But there's a catch. As the toy company shuts down its stores and websites, Bed Bath & Beyond will buy the cards at a discounted rate, about 65% of their original value. Now, that amount will be then given back on a gift card to the home goods store. And you have to act fast. This offer expires Thursday at midnight. If this is something you want to do, we'll post a link on our social pages.
Thank you, Raquel. Tens of thousands of teachers are walking out. But what about the kids? Who's teaching them during these protests? And next in Heart Threads, the healing power of a service dog. How one pooch is changing a veteran's life for the better. That's next.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
You allowed to wear jeans. People are talking because I'm wearing jeans. It's very exciting, people. Are you just going to stand there and do this weird thing? What about jeans?
I got dressy jeans. They're like, these aren't jeans.
Right.
But
I like
do.
those pants.
Yeah, these are nice. They're from Zara.
Ooh, nice.
They're getting a little snug, I'm not going to lie.
Ooh, cut out the carbs, Schroeder.
I know it. I wear like dark, like jeans now, they could look very
like
nice
a trouser
looking.
almost, yeah.
Yeah, and they look like, you wouldn't even tell that they're jeans, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
very stretchy. They're called page jeans.
Women know about page jeans.
Okay,
Women
I don't
with
know.
big tushies know about page.
Hannah told me about page
Page is good
jeans.
if you got a big tush. It's phenomenal.
They're very comfortable, they're stretchy. Go get them at Nordstrom Rack, not Nordstrom. They're way
Totally
cheaper.
agree with you.
Yeah.
So are you at home, are you a sweatpant or a jean guy?
At home?
Yeah,
in my
like you're
house?
home, be honest, do you go straight to sweatpants?
I walk in, kiss my son hello, and I go and take off everything I have and just put on sweatpants.
Shirt off?
Yeah, I put a shirt on.
Put a shirt on. So you like to be just immediately.
Comfy
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like women that don't take their bra off right when they get home, I don't understand those people. I don't understand
Yeah, I
those
take
people.
everything off.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
that
want
girl
anything-
that like ties in the
I don't want
sweatpants.
anything touching me, you know what I mean?
And especially if you guys don't know, we have mic packs on our back, and everything has to be nice and tight. And for me, everything's tight, so
These are a little
lay
snug,
off
you know
the
what I mean?
carbs, showman. See how I did that? Call back, people. It's called comedy. Comedy. All right, I gotta go too.
All right, guys.
Today's Heart Threads is about a special bond between a man and his dog. After serving, veteran Mark suffered from PTSD, and some kind strangers gave him a shelter dog that changed his life. Grab the tissues and watch this. With help from a few strangers, this pound pup changed a veteran's life. Leland the Pit Bull was in a shelter when he was picked to be a service dog. Capital City Canine provided training, while Hit Fitness in Sacramento provided funding.
I have a trainer here who's a vet and, you know, has been to Iraq, so I understand a little bit of what they go through, so it's awesome just to help, and, you know, I'm glad.
With a new purpose, Leland was paired with Mark, a 12-year Army veteran. Mark was suffering from PTSD and loneliness.
Like a lot of other vets, I didn't think I needed anything or anybody.
But soon he realized a companion with 4 legs was just what he needed. Mark and Leland became fast friends and are now practically inseparable.
I've got somebody that's always there, no matter what. He's my best friend.
What a beautiful heart thread.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Love our vets. You know, anytime I get some time out, I go do a USO tour. I was lucky enough to go to Japan a couple times, just doing shows for our troops there and in South Korea, to see the sacrifice these guys made, where they're away from their family for a year at a time. You know, watching their kids grow up, then they do it for our country, and it means a lot. So well done.
Well done, troops. And Ebony, I know that DBL Nation's sending in a lot of comments. Can you share some?
Absolutely. Please keep them coming too. Bob Tavares, that is from YouTube, says, "Boo on Ted Nugent. And Kim Sanchez on Facebook says, if this kid wants to go into the big arena, then he needs to deal with the backlash. Ted Nugent, actually she has Nugget, but I'm sure she meant Nugent, has the right to say what he feels. I agree, Sam.
But I don't think that David Hogg is complaining about it. He's taking it head on. It's other people that are sticking up for him.
He ends up complaining a lot, actually.
No, he doesn't.
He responded to Laura Ingraham, you should pull your advertising dollars. She was mean to me.
Is that how he said it? Because he wrote it on Twitter.
Okay, well, that was mine. Okay, you should pull those advertisers. They were mean to me.
Isn't that him exercising his First Amendment right?
We're not talking about
the Constitution. And he never used the words mean to me. But, okay, more trending stories in our next half hour of Daily Blast Live. Kathy Griffin makes her TV return tonight after that whole Trump head debacle. Will you watch?
Hey guys, somebody had a very big birthday yesterday and I was totally remiss in not discussing it. And we're gonna go talk to that person. Happy birthday!
It was yesterday.
I know, but I wanted to tell them. I said I was remiss in not giving you it. We walked all the way up here and creaked on you and you're like,
As I'm like, what is happening?
It was Hannah's birthday yesterday. Did you have a good one?
Nobody cares about
We
me.
do care about you. It was a busy day.
Stacy Sorber, thank you for
Thank you, Stacy.
She's the only one.
And usually we do have a, yeah.
I give a very special shout out. I'll tell you why after, but Tom is watching.
Tom?
And he's a big fan.
Of me?
Yeah.
Yes. Friend
Tom?
of mine. Friend of mine.
So
For
give
real?
Tom a little.
I have a, someone likes me?
Yes.
Hi, Tom!
She doesn't know you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Oh, man. No, not anymore. So Tom doesn't like me anymore. But back to the real one, Hannah Moon. She turned 21. Just kidding. But how was your birthday? Was it lovely?
It was fun. The saga continues.
Oh, guys, remember she found a guy on the dating match?
Yes, and he cooked me dinner last night for my birthday.
Still going strong. Remember, they
Still
matched
going strong.
4 years ago?
No.
Tell the story.
Like a year and a half ago, we matched on Bumble, and then Hinge, and then on Instagram.
So 3 times
And
she
now
matched.
we're like super in love.
How many times does God have to say, yo, this is your match? I mean,
3
come on.
times.
3 times, apparently. That's a good point.
It's a biblical number.
It sure is. So Hannah had a great birthday. Make sure to wish her this. She didn't get a cake. I'm selfishly upset because I didn't get a piece of that cake. Usually
I'm the one that always wants to eat everybody's cake.
We sit, just so you guys know, we sit next to each other. We eat a lot of the cake.
A lot of the cake.
Like too much of the cake. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. This week, our guest co-host is Erin Elmore. She'll be with us all week. Welcome, Erin.
Yeah.
We love having you here. And love her opinions. Let's get right into your top trending topics. Teachers in Oklahoma and Kentucky are protesting right now to have their voices heard, and our very own Erica Cobb has a story.
Fund our future!
A second day of teacher walkouts as educators in Oklahoma and Kentucky step out of their classrooms, demanding higher pay and better funding for their students. Many of these teachers haven't seen a pay raise in years and often have to pay for school supplies out of their own pockets. But lawmakers aren't standing with teachers just yet. In Oklahoma, the governor has said that there are many parts of the state budget that need funding, not just education. And in Kentucky, teachers are fighting back after lawmakers passed a bill to cut their pensions last week. The governor has yet to sign it, but has tweeted his support. But this movement is growing, as now teachers in Arizona are also considering a strike.
Wow, and this just in, Oklahoma City schools announcing that they will close tomorrow as these walkouts enter a third day.
Yeah, this really hits home with me, Sam. Obviously, I taught for 5 years, and it's really disrespectful that you're making people feel like they don't have any value. You're making adults go out on the streets and basically beg for money, beg for a little bit more money. We're talking about a decade without a raise. If that happened at a McDonald's or Wendy's, there would be litigation. But the fact that these people who are with your kids more than you're with your kids, know your kids much better than you know your kids. I promise you that. I knew my students better than their parents did because I'm with them during the real waking hours, not when their parents get home. Right. I'm not taking a shot at working parents. I'm just saying, like, these people are with your most valued commodity, and you're not going to pay them?
But Al, you were a good teacher. I think our education system could be broken right now. We have great teachers, but there are also horrible teachers.
Yes.
There's a system called tenure, which means you can basically get fired for doing nothing. You will not get fired. Your job is secure and safe. And you also spoke about raises. Guess who hasn't had a raise in 10 years? Many firefighters who start at $23,000 a year. Now, you don't see them walking out of burning buildings because they want more money. Now, do you?
Go ahead, Ebony. Sorry.
I just think when we think about the fundamental, and we even talked about this, Erin, when we stay on task, we're talking about the teachers here. And a quarter of these teachers in Oklahoma, they actually walk out a year, and they had a record number of emergency certificates this year. That means that they had to go out and scramble to get teachers, to find teachers. Should our kids' education be an emergency? And then we talked about Stephon Clark's brother the other day when he was in court, and he jumped on the table and is making noise. It's like, I know what you're going to say as far as if you're going to walk out outside of school times, but are you really making noise if you're doing that on your free time?
Great point. I'm less concerned about you making noise and more concerned about you educating my child pursuant to the statutes of the state.
But you need to pay for that.
Really? Okay. Jeff, get in there and then I'll button it.
Go for it.
Okay, really quickly, the reason why, first of all, a lot of them took the time out of their own spring breaks where they have those well-deserved vacations to protest, not only for their wages, but also for resources for children, our children.
Which was taken away from them.
Yeah, which was taken away from them. Number two, the reason why they're protesting during Monday through Friday is because they're walking to their capital so they can make a stink, make noise in front of those lawmakers. The lawmakers aren't aware Monday through Friday. But what about there?
For me, I want my kid to be educated. I fully agree that teachers should be paid more. I don't disagree with any of you. But I don't want my teacher walking out of my son's class.
So when are they supposed to
be educated?
When are they supposed to do it?
I think maybe we need to find another avenue.
Another outlet.
It doesn't work, though.
Well, neither does standing outside while someone's in a meeting.
Talking about it.
People are in a meeting
What if you're a working
and
mother
they're
or
outside
father?
yelling
It just
with posters.
The reason why this is there's momentum right now, and I might be wrong by saying West Virginia. Please, somebody tell me.
You're correct.
It started in West Virginia. The reason why they are doing this because 9 days of protesting just worked in West Virginia. It worked for them. That's why all these teachers are finally getting hopeful, saying, oh my God, I can make more than 30 grand a year. It's been 10 years since I've had a raise. They just took the resources from your kids. I'm going to protest too.
I think we all agree that doing things decent and in order, because I'm all about peaceful protest, and that's decent and in order, but it's also decent and in order to give our educators a raise too.
Amen.
So let's go ahead and let's talk about the source.
Well,
button it up.
There are working moms and dads out there that while your teacher that's supposed to be educating your child is out protesting, now you have nothing to do with your child. What are you going to do if you have to go to work? Now your kid has nowhere to go.
But you're at a job that's giving you at least a raise in the last 10 years.
That's not. That's the presupposition that's not necessarily fair or accurate.
We got to move on to the next story. DBL Nation, chime in. We want to hear from you. Moving on to Kathy Griffin because her comeback. Okay, she has a comeback effort rather. Oh, I just heard an from Erin.
I can't believe you don't like Kathy Griffin.
Ramps up tonight as the comedian is set to play Kellyanne Conway on Comedy Central's The President Show. Kathy has been clawing her way back after she posted a video of herself holding the president's severed head last year. The pictures saw her blacklisted from Hollywood and fired from her annual CNN New Year's gig with Anderson Cooper. I got to start with Erin because you gave a big ugh.
Like a visible, audible.
Yes.
Ugh. Well, there's so many things to start with. Let's talk about, we are huge into this Me Too movement. We're talking about equal wages for women, the future as female. So how is Kathy Griffin, as a female, going to go on air tonight and try to destroy and eviscerate another female? Also, as it pertains to Donald Trump, a bloody, severed head, yes, that's within your First Amendment right. Slow clap, First Amendment right. But guess what? Do the crime, do the time. Be prepared for that backlash.
So you should say that she should be prepared for the backlash, but she's not because we have heard her complain about that backlash now. Rightfully so. I'm with you, Erin.
She has complained about the backlash. I think she messed up and apologizing. I think what we learned from
she took back her opponent.
Yes, if you look at somebody like Ted Nugent, who told our sitting president that he should suck on the end of his machine gun, he didn't back off from that because Ted Nugent, his followers want that.
Right.
If he had backed up on some of the statements that I don't agree with, you don't agree with, you might agree with some of them. It's like, and I'm not putting you in that boat. You know, if he had backed up, he would have lost his base. If you stay with your base and say, hey, no, I don't like our president, I don't like Donald Trump, and I stand by that photo, she would have kept her base. But then when she started to fall apart, now she's crying, saying I can't get a job, and I've been blacklisted, I think a lot of people were like, wait, we thought you were Kathy Griffin, we thought you were tough.
Yeah, you're a comedian. You're making a joke.
So she kind of.
You're a comedian, you know.
Do you agree? I mean, Al, Erin, and I are all on the same side. Do you agree with us, Ebony?
I think what I think is sometimes people cherry pick what to be sensitive about. At the end of the day, she is a comedian. We've talked about this, and sometimes to be a great comedian, you ride that fine line. And when you're talking about the severed head, I get that, but there were images of President Obama and Michelle Obama looking like monkeys on the covers of, all of that is horrible. But at the same time, sometimes we look at it and it's like, oh, it's wrong, but is it not? And I think Kathy Griffin's, your fans are your fans. I don't know if she's going to get any new fans from this.
Well, he's not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm what? I'm at this point right now with Kathy Griffin. I just made a loud noise because everyone pretty much said what I was going to say, so I just made an animal noise. But, so, I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I'm over it. Either, you know, I'm Kathy Griffin, I don't care who she is. Then she gets to a point where I almost get angry with her. Right. And then I'm to the point right now, I'm like, listen, do whatever you want. Jump off a bridge, stay home and eat spaghetti.
Okay,
I don't care what you do.
Right.
It's into water. Into water. Yeah. It was a fun day.
It still doesn't always work out for people.
It was a shortfall.
If all else fails, grunt like an animal.
Exactly, grunt like an animal. We are live, clearly. Digital producer Kelly Schubert with news at the moment.
Yeah, Justin, President Trump says he's sending troops to protect the border with Mexico. He says he's spoken to Defense Secretary James Mattis about deploying our military until the wall is built. This isn't the first time this has happened. Back in 2010, President Obama deployed more than 1,000 National Guard troops to the border. No word yet when or if the deployment will take place, but I'll keep you updated.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Talk about appealing to your base.
I know.
This is a campaign promise, and he's like, I think Trump realizes he's not getting any new fans, but the people that are with him are going to be with him till the end. And so I like that he's supporting. He's honoring what he said he was going to do.
He might get some new fans with 65% of American households getting a tax cut this year.
Yeah, but let's take a look at that tax cut.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Those Nancy Pelosi's crumbs aren't good enough for you?
No.
$1,000 isn't going to help you?
I think for the
average American,
the wealthy Americans that really benefited from it, once the American people see who really benefited, I think they'll feel differently.
Working class families are going to see the biggest impact from this, 65%.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll fact check that during the break.
We have someone here.
Fact check.
Coco, let's bring in Coco, a makeup artist. She said that the tax cut that she's getting this year is making her.
Is Coco one of the top 1% wealthy Americans?
No.
Maybe she is.
Excuse me.
Check. We'll get back.
Let me finish that thought.
Okay,
How much
finish your thought.
Our makeup artist here at DBL said because of her tax cut, she qualified to buy a home this year. Congratulations.
All right, we will keep you up to date on that fact check. Comedian Tracy Morgan is back. He's got a new show on TBS premiering tonight, and it looks hilarious. It's about a man returning to society after 15 years in prison. Check out this sneak preview.
I used to be just like y'all. Check your own potential, man.
Actually, sorry to interrupt.
Let's go to brunch.
What happened to Brooklyn?
Before. Hey,
get the back before I knock your out.
You have a moment to save the polar ice caps?
Oh, half calf, no foam mocha latte with an extra shot of espresso split into 2 cups.
That looks funny.
I know.
So funny.
And I'm so glad, and you spoke about this earlier, Al, to see Tracy Morgan on this path again, because I would say after that accident he had, I think it was a Walmart truck, I mean, the condition they said was grave at best.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you know, I actually know a guy that was on the bus with Tracy that's open for him for years, my friend Artie, and you know, he was in the hospital, I believe, for 3 months. Wow. I mean, this was the kind of accident. Now, obviously, somebody passed away on that as well. I mean, this is the kind of accident where I don't think they can believe anybody survived. No. So the fact that he's not only back, but he's funny and tackling a relative subject like gentrification. I mean, anybody that spent time in New York, like when you go to Brooklyn, my friend bought a house in Bed-Stuy, and I'm just like, this is where Biggie grew up. And I mean, I couldn't afford to drive down that street now.
Yes.
I mean, it's the change in New York is amazing.
And you know what? You talked about a comeback. This is the kind of guy, and this is the kind of situation that deserves a comeback. Forget about Kathy Griffin.
Right.
We're happy for Tracy Morgan. He deserves every minute of this. He said he didn't even know his name anymore. Was in a wheelchair. I want to see this come back 7 ways since Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with you. And a new trailer starring Kevin Hart and It Girl Tiffany Haddish was just released. Tori Shulman has your first look coming in hot.
I have just about Haddish with her. I'm just kidding. That's right. Kevin Hart works as a salesman who loses his job and must go back to high school to get his GED. Now his teacher is none other than Tiffany Haddish. Watch as they head back to class in the new movie Night School.
I was a couple credits shy of graduating. I gotta get my GED.
My name is Carrie. I'm here to make a little extra cash so that I can afford this warrant that I got. But that's none of y'all business. Welcome to night school. You trying to get your GED?
Yes.
You can get out my way. My suspicions were correct. Boom. You're clinically dumb. I got learning herpes? I got the gift that keep on giving? Boy.
Night School hits theaters September 28th. Back to you guys.
Wow. Thanks, Tori. Erica, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Well, Atlanta housewife Kenya Moore comes after arch-enemy Vivica A. Fox. Get your sunglasses. It's about to get shady in Reality Roundup. And later...
I think that all women who have gone through infertility just feel a certain bond with other women.
A mother gives the gift of life to complete strangers. The deeply personal donation she's making after a lab mishap destroyed thousands of eggs and embryos.
Hey guys, so I know I talked to you a little bit about it yesterday, but Stu makes these salads every day for himself, and they're so good. So I got in on it. He makes me a salad 4 times a week, and I pay him, so it's a hashtag side hustle. No problem with that. But Al likes to steal my things and hide them everywhere. So guess where my salad is? Let's come look over here. Here's my desk. Okay, so we're gonna look. There's no salad here. I'm looking around. Darren, have you seen my salad?
No, I haven't.
No. Chin Chin? No, have you seen my salad? Erica, have you seen my salad? Oh, maybe we should look up. She's got a salad. That's where Albert Benjamin Jackson has placed my salad. And that almost went perfectly. Dun, dun, dun. So what I need is ideas on how to get, go ahead, my boo-boo, is how to get Al back. What I don't want is just to stick something else up there. He put my shoe in the trash can yesterday. So give me some hints, some prank ideas. You know you got my back. Come on.
I was like all the way over here, and I looked 10 times bigger than anybody in the thing. Mike's chair was so far forward last time.
Oh, then put it. Well,
I was like,
were you like ahead of us?
I was like, Godzilla.
Stu?
I don't eat because I'm on the end all the time. No, this one is like here.
Yeah. He's here.
Hi, honey. Roundup.
He loves
this
reality
is his favorite segment.
1 minute, guys.
He loves this segment.
Sam, 2:30
Yes.
for this.
Okay.
Then we get a break.
Okay.
Is that longer than last time?
Shorter.
Why are we doing it over?
We need to get the sound effect. It's now time for Reality Roundup. Yeah, this is where we discuss the best and the worst moments in reality TV. Now, let's get right to it, okay? Because on Vanderpump Rules, a new scandal erupted. Did Kristen and James hook up? Don't worry. Guess who's on the case? Detective Jax, of course. Yep.
Exhibit A, the crime scene. Kristen, doting, drinking alone. Suspicious? I think so. James, a social drinker as well, would never drink alone. Heard me coming and fled the scene. Pillows are oddly arranged. The smoking gun. I rest my case.
Ooh, he got me
me convinced. They hooked up.
That would hold up in that would hold up in a court.
Of course it would.
The smoking gun of the pillows.
Right. Are you ready for this, Ebony?
I'm ready,
I think you're going to be shocked.
Let's go.
Do you know a new article just announced how much they get paid? Do you know how much Jax, who's also an investigator now and a PI, he makes 25 grand per episode. They have like 24 episodes. That's like $500,000 a year, more than that, 600 and something thousand a year. Sheena Marie, 10 grand an episode. Stassi, Kristen, and Tom, 15K an episode.
Wow. Gee,
why don't I work at Pump?
I know. I mean, gee, because I'm struggling right now. My credit's so bad, they question my cash. Need some money.
All right, well, it's time now for Miss Ebony Steele to deliver her shade of the day.
Okay. All right, the shade of the day comes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that is, season finale, and it features Kenya Moore. Kenya reignites a feud with her former Celebrity Apprentice castmate, Vivica A. Fox. Kenya caught Vivica's performance in a play, and here's her review.
That's what I wanted to do. But like I said,
Vivica's performance is the same performance. It was just 20 years ago and 20 surgeries ago.
She did not.
All right, you ready, ladies?
Yes.
All right, shade doesn't discriminate with your looks or age. Kenya felt the need to bring it to the stage. Old beef between Vivica and her still lives and seems to linger. Sat in the audience talking trash about her face and even pointed her finger.
Yes, she did.
Girl, we all have our good and bad days. There are moments we may all look strange. Kenya, be careful. She might put you in her book. You give her $1 and just like 50 cents, she might give you some change.
Oh! That's the change.
Boom.
Make the change.
Boom. Props. We are live. Digital producer Brett Forrest is news at the moment.
The Masters golf tournament tees off this week, and while Tiger Woods is making headlines, it's a list of banned words that has us buzzing. Golf website Bunkered reports that security staff at Augusta National were handed a list of sayings that are prohibited and could get you kicked out. It includes the popular Bud Light phrase, dilly dilly. This comes as golf fans have gotten a bit rowdy lately. Justin Thomas, Sergio Garcia, and Rory McIlroy have all had fans ejected this year after they kept yelling during play. I've reached out to the Masters for a comment, and I'll keep you updated.
Thank you so much, Brett. And a devastating mishap destroys thousands of human eggs and embryos, but the story doesn't end there. Up next, meet a woman who took it upon herself to literally donate the gift of life to others who want to be moms. You do not want to miss this. It's coming up next.
Okay, guys, so Sam's husband's here, I think to drop off a salad or a sandwich or whatever, and he doesn't like to be on camera. So I'm just gonna quickly try and get him in the safari. I'm being real sneaky today. I don't know what's going on with me.
You're on a safari and you don't want to scare any
We're in the
animals.
bush, and the white rhino is looking apprehensive. Okay, so quickly, but no, slowly, with some beautiful glaze. Just quickly, just a shot of him.
Yeah,
Mark, it's so good to see you.
I go with Sophie outside.
That was Mark, the one that Sam kissed. That's her husband. So we're walking over here. What he did is so cool is that Mark got the Peaky Blinders haircut. I don't know if you guys know, but Sam and me got very, and Jeff got very into, and everyone. The Peaky Blinders was popular. And you shave your sides off, and then you see, quickly, right here, there he is.
Thank you, appreciate it.
He's touching the hair. He loves the hair. He loves the hair. And it makes him a little more bad, you know what I mean? A little Peaky Blinders bad. So if anyone wants to get Sam to respond, just start your question with Peaky Blinders, and she will respond no matter what. So we're just going to get him one more time. We're in the bush deep within the forests. We're seeing someone. Mark, good to see you.
Hey.
There he is. There he is. Yeah, see? I told you. Once you shout him out, you can't get him. He's like a rhino in the wilderness. Anyway, we'll try to get him next time. But what do you guys think about the Peaky Blinders haircut? I like it.
It's time now for the extra shot. It's a story that made you say, give me another round, since it's so uplifting. Today, it's a mother who made the difficult choice to give away her embryos to help other women fulfill their dreams to have a family.
Families clinging to the hope of having a child have been devastated after 4,000 eggs and embryos were destroyed at an Ohio fertility clinic after the freezer system failed. Enter Nikki Schaefer. She knows both the struggles and joy of in vitro fertilization. Her 2 children are the result of IVF treatments. Nikki knows what the destruction of the embryos means to those families. In a Facebook post, Nikki announced plans to donate her 4 remaining embryos to families affected by the tragedy, and she's calling for other women to consider doing the same.
Nikki Schaefer joins us now. Nikki, when you heard about the destruction of the embryos at the fertility clinic near you, what compelled you to donate your eggs, and was it a hard decision to make?
So I knew a lot of the patients that had eggs and embryos in that freezer.
Wow.
And then as a person who struggled with infertility myself, it is a community that I feel obviously incredibly connected to. And I had 4 embryos that I was never quite sure what to do with. So that confluence of people and events sort of made what was a very difficult choice up until that point an easy choice.
Absolutely. And you also posted your decision publicly on Facebook. Have other women contacted you directly asking how they can follow your lead?
Yes, I think I'm up to about 15 women who have contacted me. I have been totally overwhelmed by the response. And I also think that some people have contacted the fertility center directly and not gone through me.
Nikki, you've gone through infertility and IVF. What would you say to a woman who receives your embryo?
First of all, I'm sorry, because my daughter can be a little difficult sometimes, and they are technically her siblings. They were made in the same cycle. But, you know, I think what always made me feel better when I was dealing with failed fertility treatments is trying again. And I hope that these embryos will be that chance for someone to try again. Because I think it's that hope of being pregnant, of having that baby you always imagined for yourself, that helps you get through those dark times of infertility.
Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so honored to speak with you, and thank you for sharing your very personal story. I'm so touched by your selflessness.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We are live. Tori has a new trending story coming in hot.
Yeah, are you guys thinking of adopting a furry friend? Anyone here? Yes? Well, Bustle.com has the best dog breeds for kids. So let's start at number 5 on the list. It's the adorable Labradoodle. Number 4 is the Labrador Retriever. Coming in at number 3 is the Beagle. These floppy-eared pups love exercise, so they'll keep your kids active. Number 2 is the English Bulldog. These dogs might look grumpy, but they're actually very sweet. And number 1, drum roll please, the Golden Retriever. Retrievers are super easy to train, but my favorite breed is a rescue breed. DBL Nation, what is your favorite breed? Let us know.
That's right, Tori. Adopt, don't shop. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention.
I like the chilled out
Hey,
tour.
Stu.
I like it. I think I'm going to be that girl.
So loud.
Because it's relatable. And
Sorry, I'm
this
this bad. Probably Goldilocks.
Okay, we want to go to Erin. I just want to know something about you. We got a lot of interesting...
I thought you were just asking me.
A lot of people are writing in good things, bad things, lots of mix.
Polarizing.
Polarizing, which is phenomenal. How does it feel to be surrounded by people? And you've done this on CNN. Be super honest with us. How does it feel like you're representing one point that is very much like an island amongst everyone else?
Well,
is it hard?
That's like a question you would ask in court. When did you stop beating your wife? It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a loaded question,
else
but guess
here.
what? We're not in court, so I can say it.
But what I'm saying is, America probably feels more like I do than you guys do. So you guys are the ones on the island.
True.
And I'm on the main land.
But you're sitting here amongst us.
Yes.
Is it hard? Like, I just want to know from your point of view. You do such a great job. Is it difficult to keep it together when you're sort of in the minority, to be honest, on the panel?
It can be, because you do want to be liked. That's in our nature as human beings. But
some more than others.
But at the end of the day, I hope that everyone can realize that we all can find some sort of common ground.
It's about an exchange of ideas
Yes.
as well. Like I mean, we're not taking personal shots at each other.
No.
Like, we're
not making mama jokes.
We're allowed to have differing opinions. That's what it's called being an adult.
It's called being with discourse. But I just think it's so great how calm and collected you are.
30
I think I would
seconds
get
back.
anxious, but you are very
So
calm
guys,
and
40
collected.
seconds, no funny moments.
I'm trying.
Sam has
I'm
comments.
sweating a lot.
Are you?
Sweat. Oh yeah, I'm sweating.
This girl, she's pulling it off. When I'm sweating, you guys definitely know I'm sweating.
It's all the Spanx. You can't see it.
That's my line. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Sorry, Tor.
All right, guys, 15 seconds.
Welcome back to DBL. Well, DBL Nation, they have a lot to say about our very own Erin, who will be with us all week. Let's start with Peggy Williams on YouTube. Thanks, DBL, for having a conservative guest host this week. We have no voice on almost all programming. Watched yesterday's show on YouTube and couldn't express my appreciation until today. Welcome, Erin. Brenda Buff, Creason on Facebook. I like the balance that this Erin person brings to the table. And Brandy Sprong on Facebook. It's a different side of opinion, which is nice. Don't agree, but nice to hear both sides.
Yes.
Well, those are all nice comments.
Right.
So good.
That's what we want here. We want to have all different points of views, including yours. So make sure you write in as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Woo!
Hey everyone, it's Connor Ashley from the digital team. So oftentimes during the breaks, we always keep you up to date on the latest trending stories that are happening right now. And this is trending from Pop Sugar. Well, Target, if you didn't know, they were starting their own sort of wine company called California Roots with very, very affordable but good tasting wine. Now, they had already rolled out their Pinot Grigio and their Chardonnay in stores, but just in time for the summer, they are releasing their California Roots Rosé. Now, it is $5. That's all it is, and it'll be in stores on April 8th, so that's only 5 days away. I imagine it's going to be flying off the shelf, so let me know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about, a grocery store delving into that sort of alcohol and wine route with creating their own products? I know that Kirkland, Costco makes their own wine as well. Do you think that's going to be some competition along with like Trader Joe's? Let me know where you guys get your wine, and if you would be interested in trying this $5 wine from Target. Let me know. See ya.
Daily Blast Live. Marriage over for Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dewan. If they can't last, who can? Class dismissed. As thousands of teachers walk out again, demanding more money and more resources. Plus, comedian Tracy Morgan's second chance at life. A sneak peek at his hilarious new show, The Last OG, that debuts tonight. Is the president responsible for Roseanne's ratings? You won't believe her response. And it all starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live, everybody. Joining us today is guest co-host here all week, Erin Elmore. Erin, welcome.
How are you?
I'm very good. You ready to kick this thing off?
You got it.
Let's do it. Tori, way to pat yourself on the back about that intro.
Yeah.
I like the change.
All right. I said it's a good VO, and I did the voiceover.
She
Let's
said
move
it before
on.
we
Let's
went
move on.
Already off to a bang. All right, this story is not going away. Ted Nugent is again bashing school shooting survivors. It's one of the top trending stories on Twitter. The singer and NRA board member is continuing his criticism of David Hogg, doubling down on comments he made about previous about previously. Listen to what Nugent said on the Curtis and Cosby radio show.
I don't have anything to say to David Hogg. This guy's a lost cause, and he is part of the problem, not the solution. He could have been a positive force. Now he's gone off on a tangent, failing to put focus on meaningful solutions.
All right, I know you guys are fired up about this. Tori, let's kick it off here.
You know what's interesting? I sort of want to go to you first, but I spoke to Ryan Deitch. He's a Parkland shooting survivor, and he said, guess what? We did put ourselves in front of the camera. We are now public people. So they've announced that. What he said was that it was just plain rude. He wasn't addressing Laura Ingraham. He was just discussing himself on Twitter. So what I don't understand is why these guys who are supposed to be adults in the matter are coming after kids who've never gone after them.
Well, what happened here was these kids in Parkland, of course, they are tragedy survivors, and that's horrible and sad. But they are putting themselves in an adult arena covering a very contentious adult topic, which is the Second Amendment, the NRA.
And they seem to be aware of that. They know that they're
But when you're doing that, you have to be fully prepared for the backlash. And by the way, I am an NRA member, and I have shot guns in the past. So this is a topic that I also
There you are, right?
There's me doing both. I am very passionate about both subjects. And I listened to the whole Ted Nugent tape of the radio show.
Well, just make sure David Hogg is also, he has guns and also shoots. So he's not trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. I just want to make it clear.
He is taking on the NRA, which is a powerful, mighty, and long-standing organization. And when you are going to start even speaking on these topics, you've got to giddy up and buckle your seatbelt because these are very difficult topics. But back to Ted Nugent. What he said was David Hogg could have been, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, could have been a voice for change. But instead, he called all NRA members child killers. He could have done that in a much more positive way. That's no way to effectuate change. He just lost his platform right there.
Is that a direct quote?
What did I say? I said I was paraphrasing.
Okay, because when you say that someone calls someone child killers, I think that we.
No, that's what he said. The child killers,
so
but that was the
direct quote. Okay, so my issue is this wasn't about politics at all. It was about a very personal thing, which was him getting into college. That's how this all started, and I don't want to lose sight of that because I think that that's very important. This stems from the Laura Ingraham backlash because she personally attacked a child. This is the thing. I understand what you're saying about getting into the NRA and all of that. But at the end of the day, me as an adult, I don't spar with children because when you spar with children, then that means that whatever's happening and whatever they're talking about, you're now telling them that they're on your level. So what I'm saying to them, the Parkland survivors, is congratulations. You've officially become a big boy because for any adult to stop down and address a child in such a way means that they are threatened. It almost goes back to the basis of the idea that you aren't doing anything important if you aren't pissing people off, and they've pissed off people, and we're hearing about it, and I say good for them.
Let's hit the next beat. Let's hit the next beat, because it's just on what she said about Laura Ingraham, right? Because Ted Nugent also defended Fox News anchor Laura Ingraham, who has been under fire for bullying David Hogg, and it's worth noting, that the Fox News co-host says Laura, or co-president, I'm sorry, says Laura will definitely be back next week, and you were saying this
It wasn't even, that was the least important part of the quote. Can we just get the exact quote that the co-president of Fox said?
Sure, we cannot and will not allow voices to be censored by agenda-driven intimidation efforts. There's the exact quote.
Agenda-driven intimidation efforts.
Isn't that what Fox is?
Fine, if the shoe fits. My point is yesterday we were sitting here saying Laura Ingraham is out. We were comparing her to Bill O'Reilly, who's been accused of far more egregious things other than calling a teenager, what did she say he was?
Whiny.
Whiny. Wah. That's bullying all of a sudden. But my point is, yesterday we sat here as a group and said, she's going to lose her job. Now we know she's on vacation with her kids. She's coming right back.
But do you think this kid deserves the criticism that he's getting, going through what he went through? He was a survivor of a terrorist attack, American terrorist attack. He looked death in the eyes, and now he's speaking up for him and the voice of his school and everyone else who got shot. Should he be attacked, like in the way that he's getting, like from Ted Nugent and from Laura Ingraham on Fox News? Should he be?
To circle back, of course, I feel horribly bad that he's a victim of a tragedy.
And you sweep that under the rug like it's nothing. But
I don't even. That's unfair to say that I'm sweeping it under the rug like it's
just
nothing.
To pass by it as well. Because I've talked to survivors from Parkland, and it really affected me. So I've never walked in their shoes, and this was
my husband's a 9/11 survivor. My husband survived the 9/11 terrorist attack that could have change our nation forever. I almost can't talk about it without crying. So to say I'm sweeping a tragedy under the rug, I hate to say this, but shame on you.
I don't think so, because you said it twice and just skipped right over it.
Well, we have 1 hour of time here. We don't have 6 hours to belabor a point. So let's talk about this. Is a horrible tragedy, and I'm sad for everyone who survived it. But David Hogg has put himself in the octagon, if you want to use an MMA analogy here. And he has put himself in that arena where he is tackling hardcore adult issues.
He just talked about college. He didn't get into college. That's all he was talking about.
He's talked about the Second Amendment. No,
yeah, but
that's
Laura Ingraham was responding to him saying he's whiny. So she wasn't going after him. I mean, he wasn't going after her. He wasn't going after politics. He was saying, I didn't get into college. I'm a 17-year-old, and I'm tweeting about it. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. And she called him whiny. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Because he's a kid. She's the adult in this situation.
I mean, he's out on Twitter acting like an adult. When you behave like an adult, you stand in the court of public opinion like one.
Okay, let's move on, because we had some big celebrity couple news. Obviously, changing gears here. Shocking news about Channing Tatum and wife Jenna Dwayne Tatum. Well, not Tatum anymore. Well, maybe still. Ouch. The couple announced they are separating after nearly 9 years of marriage. They released a joint statement on Instagram saying, in part, absolutely nothing has changed about how much we love one another, but love is a beautiful adventure that is taking us in different paths for now. That was very well said.
Yes.
The couple first met in 2006 on the set of the movie Step Up. Jenna recently posted their original audition tape, and just look at the chemistry together.
Hi, I'm Jenna Dewan.
Channing Tatum. Hi.
Hi. Oh, come on, you're pretty good.
Nah.
You said you did some sausage. Uh-oh.
And Channing, they do have one daughter together, Channing and Jenna, 4-year-old Everly. So this is who, I don't know.
If they don't want to have sex with each other, they're tired of it, then we have no hope. I'm sorry.
I doubt that's what it's about.
They're the most beautiful people in the world. They seem very happy, and it's just, you look at yourself as a reflection of other relationships, and it's sad. You know, when Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins broke up, did that not break your heart just a little bit?
Who?
Really?
Oh, I'm just kidding. I know who they are, but I don't care. No. What I'm saying is, I think that it sets a very bad precedent, and people do this all the time. They look on Instagram, social media, and they compare themselves to these fictitious images of people who are actually might be quite miserable in real life, but they paint a pretty picture. I have to commend them for this conscious uncoupling, because I think that as someone who has had a divorce, and it was a very amicable thing, that we decided to part ways before we ruined each other's lives and tore each other apart. And sometimes you are aware enough to see that coming, and you're mature enough to say, we tried to do this, it's not working, we're better off apart. And if that's what they're doing, I commend them.
You don't look on Instagram ever and look at a celebrity and think of yourself and like reflect yourself in that ever?
Not in a way that I'm going to be upset if something happens.
But I feel bad. I feel bad.
I feel bad. But maybe that's the problem, because now we look at social media, and there have been studies that showed social media causes depression and anxiety. And this person at home, let's say, that's working 3 jobs, and they can't afford the stylist and the therapist and the plastic surgeon and the dietitian and the fancy clothes and the big house and the limousine and the lighting. They're worrying about mortgages, taxes, screaming kids, stretch marks, 5 pounds overweight. You look to these people on social media that pretend to live a great life, and what hope do you have for yourself?
I have great hope for myself, but I see myself in I don't want to put myself on their level or anything like that. But me and my wife met on television. They met at an audition, and we've been together 9 years. They've been together 9 years. We also have a son. They have a daughter. But it's kind of like you want a role model to look up to. It doesn't mean I'm sad. I mean, like I'm going to lose sleep over it. But I like to look up to people. I like to look up to The Rock. I like to look up to celebrities that I choose and try to live.
But I have one question for you.
Yes.
Can you dance?
Can I dance?
Like Channing Tatum did in Magic Mike.
With a cup. Wait, hold up.
I'm all for it.
I've seen him do it. With a couple vodka shots, he gets close.
I don't do vodka shots. I'm a whiskey guy.
I want to see that dance.
You're going to have to wait for that one. All right, a big congratulations to Villanova. The Wildcats won the NCAA College Basketball Championship last night. They beat Torrey's Michigan Wolverines 79-62 in San Antonio, Texas, taking home their 2nd national title in 3 years, but it's never too early to predict next year's winner. Digital producer Brett Forrest has the odds for next year at this moment.
You're absolutely right, Jeff. Las Vegas is already betting on next year's winner. Odds makers are taking Duke as the favorite in 2019, giving them 5-1 odds. Following Duke is this year's champ Villanova, along with Kansas and Kentucky. Honestly, none of those picks are too surprising, and a smart person would say it's too early to make some bets, but I'm not smart, so go ahead and throw some money down.
Thanks, Brett. And our own Erin, if you guys didn't watch yesterday, went to Villanova Law School.
I did.
And you guys beat Tori went to Michigan, and you guys beat them, right?
Listen, it's a friendly rivalry. We decided we're going to make some sort of tequila bet. So everybody wins with a little tequila.
So Tori won that bet.
So she wins. You guys are assuming that I can't.
In the end. No,
yes,
that's
you
true.
are.
But congratulations, you guys killed it.
And you guys did a great job. But I have a great quote from the coach of Villanova, Jay Wright. He said, "Villanovans do 3 things really well. We pray together, watch basketball together, and drink together." So
okay.
You're officially a member of Villanova.
Wildcats.
Sam, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Well, day 2 of teacher walkouts. Well, thousands of educators get the money and classroom resources they're demanding. Plus, Kathy's comeback. We'll reveal the controversial role Kathy Griffin's taking on for a new Comedy Central special. And President Trump takes credit for Roseanne's ratings. Does he have a point, or is it all her? We share your comments live.
Hey guys, let's go into this. When I say vodka shots, I apologize. I meant whiskey shots. I'm a vodka shot person. Let's make it clear. He's the whiskey guy.
I don't like to do shots. I like to sip it. I mean, we're not in high school, Tori. Tori does vodka shots while she's doing a keg stand.
No, he's not yelling at me.
None of that is true, just so you guys know.
Half of that is
we
true.
talk about fake news.
He didn't say anything.
You don't do vodka shots every day before the show?
No! Marlon Brando.
He did that?
I actually don't know that, if he did do that, to make sure. You guys are writing in, loving that Erin has a conservative point of view on this, getting a great debate. You guys are loving that debate because we're handling it so well.
Are they too girly?
We are talking about, no. And what Barb says is interesting. I'm open to all points of view, but for me, it's how you say it is just as important of what you're saying. You've often said that before, that, are you okay there? She fell. You know, we've seen videos of, you know, people on panels where they're yelling and yelling and yelling, and there's a way of saying it that doesn't have to be.
No, this doesn't have to be an episode of The Real Housewives.
It doesn't. It doesn't have to be a diss every time. It can be like a part of the discourse. Yeah.
A diss like this.
What do you mean? A diss?
Read the first one.
Okay, cool. So guys, what we're talking about next is Roseanne is back. If you didn't know, Donald Trump took credit.
Yeah, Karen writes
for her.
The cast matters more than the
for her
topic,
ratings,
with the bad cast
and
couldn't
Roseanne
tackle tough
claps
topics.
back, and we talk about what happens. So tune in why you're watching Roseanne in a sentence. Is it because of the politics, or is it because of the family, the Connors, the nostalgia, and the comedy? Why are you watching Roseanne? Because Trump thinks it's because of him. Roseanne thinks it's because of her. And I think, just get me on a TV show. Okay, thanks.
The huge ratings because of the cast or show's way of addressing hot topics.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live, the only live show that covers trending stories live no matter where you're watching. Roseanne is back tonight after 18 million viewers tuned in last week. You might remember President Trump taking credit for the reboot's success, but the real Roseanne thinks otherwise.
I gotta get your thoughts on President Trump taking credits for your ratings.
It's all me.
Ooh, this got you, our 5th host, talking. Take it away, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Sam. Shocker. That's it. We asked you, are there huge ratings because of the cast or the politics? You, as a 5th host, had a lot to say. Why don't you kick it off here, Tori?
I will. Brandy says, quote, I'm watching it for the comedy and the memories. I'm tired of all the liberal TV shows. Well, Brandy, which is going to sound strange, I totally understand. I'm a strong, blue-blooded East Coast liberal, but if it's pop culture, I always say this, give us both points of view. Right. You can't have conservatives not having anything to watch on TV. And I would also like to add, I think Roseanne is pretty fair. You got Jackie, who's a Hillary fan, and you got Trump. It's not just one-sided. So I totally agree with Brandy.
You said you're a blue blood. I love that.
There you go.
Karen writes, the cast matters more than the topic. With a bad cast, you couldn't tackle tough topics. I kind of agree with that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think
the acting's phenomenal.
I think it's so more good. The writing than the cast. You know, so I think the writing has to be right. I think what is intriguing about Roseanne is it has both sides.
Yeah.
And they're bringing a comedic twist to it.
Right.
So it's not, people aren't yelling at each other. They're bringing a funny twist to it, and people are going to actually have that conversation. I think it's brilliant.
And a template we're used to, that we're comfortable with,
right.
and familiar with, right?
Right.
Well, Bree says, I'm watching Roseanne because I enjoyed the show back in the day, waiting for revamp of Married with Children.
Oh, yes.
No.
Kelly Bundy for president.
I don't know about Married with Children because I like, yay. It was Modern Family.
I think Ed O'Neill, is busy somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I agree. I'm watching because I wanted to see if it stood up to the test of time based on being a fan back in the day. I'm really not interested in what everybody else's political interests are because I'm really watching it for the content of the show, which has a pretty diverse writer group. So it makes it more interesting to me.
So maybe it means there's something for everyone on Roseanne. That's why it's doing so well. And I will say this, the ratings for Roseanne were far higher than the Stormy Daniels
And I will say
interview.
this, that's not 100% true, because Stormy Daniels got 22 million, they got 18 million up to 25 million, which is higher.
Attention Barbra Streisand fans! There's a new book being released that you won't want to miss. Al Jackson has the details coming in hot.
Jeff, I don't think anybody's ever yelled that before. Joe, that startled me. Okay. A new book about Barbra Streisand comes out Tuesday. It has never before seen photos of Streisand in the 60s. Super fun. The photos were taken by photographer Bill Epperidge. They follow a young 20-something Streisand as she's struggling in New York as you do, washing clothes in the bathtub, kind of gross, but she did it. But it worked out because she was able to go to Rome and Paris, and she became a fashion icon. I mean, just like your boy right here. So, you know, the book Becoming Barbara, which I feel like every day, hits shelves April 10th. Jeff, are we skipping work to go pick that up?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm buying it.
Every Jewish girl loves Barbra Streisand. Every Jewish girl loves Barbra Streisand.
She's a triple threat, a dancer, an actor, a singer, a theater person. She's phenomenal.
Tell people what we had today with the matzah.
Oh, we had matzah and charoset, and I was teaching everyone about it. Go Babs!
Daily Lights Live is all about news as it's happening.
From a nearly fatal car crash to a brand new show, Tracy Morgan reveals what got him through the hard times, and it was Barbra Streisand. And baseball blunder, why the Houston Astros had to whip out a leaf blower to unveil their World Series banner. She is our icon. She's our people.
I like her in
Meet the Fockers. Yeah. Oh, she's very funny. If you guys don't know her background, she was Funny Girl. She was in The Way We Were. She's a hilarious human being. She's phenomenal. And she's an EGOT, which is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So that's amazing. Can you guys name any other EGOTs? I'm putting out the challenge to you right now. If you Google, I'll never know, but is there any EGOTs? That's someone who's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Did you just hear what I said?
No.
Emmy, Grammy,
Oscar. I totally heard you, but I didn't know it was called the EGOT.
You totally did, an EGOT. So let me know if you guys can think of any other EGOT.
Sounds like
a bird.
Isn't someone
big bird.
Isn't someone like up for one?
Okay.
Like if they get one more thing?
Yeah. Wow, we're good at this, aren't we? Yeah, guys, let us know if you search for Google who is another EGOTs, because I think they're incredible. It's definitely, that's a bird.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
We're talking about EGOTs, which is Emmys, Grammys, Oscar, Tony. Barbara has all four.
Whoopi. He said Whoopi.
Let me get this too.
Whoopi.
in there?
You're right.
What'd you get it for? Color Purple on Broadway?
I think for being mean
Ghost. She was an Oscar for Ghost. Wasn't she good?
I think she got it for being mean to Elizabeth Hathaway.
I don't think so. My favorite line in Ghost? he's like, tell her I have all these problems. Tell her I was murdered. And he goes, Molly, you a danger, girl. You a danger, girl.
How'd you mess up your favorite line?
I messed it up.
You completely stopped the conversation, said I have my favorite line, and then blew the second word.
Just so you guys know about Al, he pranks me every day.
Yes.
And today I have another stew salad, and guess where it was? Where was he hides them. My shoe was in the trash can. My salad was in the topiaries, which is way up high.
They look cute though.
All right, guys, 45 seconds back.
People know?
No.
It's when you create like Edward
My
Scissorhands.
salad was in the topiaries.
What's a topiary?
Really? It's those little like when you make sculptures out of plants. Like Edward Scissorhands.
Don't use that word.
I love Edward Scissorhands so much.
Oh, me too.
There's no such word as topiary.
Yes, there is.
It's not a word. Don't use
Well,
it.
this is Boost Break has gone just swell. Thanks, guys.
You'll lose friends.
In the topiaries.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time now for Al Sounds Off. When comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he could find.
Let's do this.
Let's get wild, Al. All right, winning a title is never easy, right? But for the Houston Astros, revealing their 2017 championship pennant was just as hard. Check this out.
Jeff, I like this. They're trying to have a nice ceremony. And you know, they say in baseball you fail more than you succeed, and they're proving that. You know, it looks good, but I mean, just like in real life, it kills the mood if you can't get it off the first try. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go over to China, Al. China just opened the very first car vending machine. You got to see this.
Yeah, Jeff, this is China, where I go to get all my American cars. I just don't understand. This is an American guy who's lucky enough to go to China. He then goes and gets a Ford Mustang. I mean, way to immerse yourself in the culture. What are you going to do next? Drive to a Dave & Buster's? Do better, homie. Let's go to the next one.
All right, our last video here, Al, will leave you saying, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Jeff, this reminds me of my favorite rule in life. Never play with the kitty cat. This cat actually took $500 off me at a park one time. You know, but it is a cat treat underneath there. I mean, it's just like if you put a roast beef sandwich under a bucket, I'll find it.
Yeah.
So, that's it for this week.
All right, everybody, that's comedian Al Jackson, and this is Al Sounds Off. Good job, buddy. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Well, right now, it's another day, another Black Panther box office record. The film is now the 4th highest grossing movie of all time in the U.S., stealing that spot from Jurassic World, and it also cracked the top 10 globally, dethroning Disney's classic Frozen by earning more than $1.2 billion, and it still has plenty of time to earn more.
Thank you, Raquel. Do you believe in second chances? Kathy Griffin sure hopes so. She's making a comeback tonight on Comedy Central. We'll tell you who she's playing. And next in Heartthreads, the healing power of a service dog. How one pooch is changing a veteran's life for the better.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention homeowners.
It's really quick. Erin's husband is very...
he's a big Barbra Streisand.
He's a big Barbra. He's Jewish, so it makes sense. It turns out Barbra Streisand did not win an EGOT. I'm very embarrassed. Only 12 people have. Richard Rodgers, Helen Hayes, Rita Moreno, John Gielgud, Audrey Hepburn, which I did not know, Mike Nichols, Marvin Hamlish, who is her one of her musicians and people that composed for Barbra Streisand, Mel Brooks, Whoopi Goldberg, Scott Rudin, and Robert Lopez. I apologize. Please thank your husband for the fact check.
Hey, it happens.
Barbara.
Mike Nichols, wasn't he the
director?
Yeah. And who was he married to?
He was married to.
Someone super famous.
Yes.
Mike
I
Nichols.
just watched a documentary on him. Who?
Diane
Sawyer. Are they still married?
No, he passed away. He passed away.
He's still married in life then. May he rest. Posthumously. There you go. Posthumously. So we're going to go do a Heartthreads. I'm right over here, and then I'm going to be walking back, but I want you guys to just see a little behind the scenes. See ya.
Today's Heart Threads is about a special bond between a man and his dog. After serving, veteran Mark suffered from PTSD. Some kind strangers gave him a shelter dog that changed his life. Take a look.
With help from a few strangers, this pound pup changed a veteran's life. Leland the pit bull was in a shelter when he was picked to be a service dog. Capital City K9 provided training, while Hit Fitness in Sacramento provided funding.
I have a trainer here who's a vet and, you know, has been to Iraq, so I understand a little bit of what they go through, so it's awesome just to help, and, you know, I'm glad.
With a new purpose, Leland was paired with Mark, a 12-year Army veteran. Mark was suffering from PTSD and loneliness.
Like a lot of other vets, I didn't think I needed anything or anybody.
But soon he realized a companion with 4 legs was just what he needed. Mark and Leland became fast friends and are now practically inseparable.
I've got somebody that's always there, no matter what. He's my best friend.
Tori, this story is right up your alley.
Oh my God, I always say when I rescued my dog, Josie Rose, she rescued me right back.
Oh. And it's good. I don't know. I mean, I know why people reach out for dogs, but I don't know why more people don't, you know, especially in that particular situation.
And what he said, Mark was saying, when you're a soldier and you feel like you can't reach out to anybody, you don't need anybody, you're supposed to be fulfilled by yourself and also capable of anything. The dog is there for someone, and my dog's a therapy dog. She reads with challenged readers, and it's not as embarrassing to read to a dog. It's not another human that can judge you. They're just happy. They're just good souls.
Do you have any pets, Erin?
I do not. I think I have the husband and the son, and I think
that's enough.
I got the wife and the son. I feel that. More trending stories in our next half hour of Daily Blast Live.
Kathy Griffin makes her TV return tonight after that whole Trump head debacle. Will you watch? And if you need to leave us, make sure to watch us on Facebook Live coming up next.
Oh. This is Jeray dealing with Jeff's face. It's hard. It's very difficult to deal with. Makeup over here is like plaster. You guys are writing in. Gotta love the puppy. Is so articulate. Erica, as usual, says 56. It's me. What is the Jewish thing that she merely likes Barbara Walters? I don't know what that means. I also like,
every Jewish person loves Barbara Streisand. It's just a fact.
Yeah, but what she say Barbara Walters? Well, we'll see. This is about the teachers walking out, which we're about to do a segment on, guys. This is from a current teacher and a DBL Nation follower, Catherine Hare. Well, I'm a retired teacher, 35 years. I retired in 2010. I fortunately am not dependent on a teacher's pension. I have a good one, though. I loved every minute except a few moments of which I choose to do for 35 years. I chose the profession. Here's my question, though. If you,
so 4 o'clock.
If people who are writing in saying, you know how much teachers are paying them, why go into it? Because we need teachers, and if you have it in yourself, like this Catherine Hare does, she obviously was born to be a teacher. Some people just have it in them. Then you should expect to get a paycheck, because you're literally teaching America's next generation. So for those of you who are teachers out there, I thank you. For those who grew up with parents and family members that are teachers, it is not the most self-fulfilling job, and certainly not financially. So we're going to get into that. What we want to know is, do you think it's okay that teachers walk out during a school day and protest? And a lot of huge opinions here, very, very contradictory, which is as you expect. So we want to hear from you guys. If you've never written in, let us know. Teachers walking out during the school week, yes or no, for more resources?
I wasn't laughing at that topic. My husband said he's watching on
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. This week, our guest co-host is Erin Elmore. She'll be with us all week long. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thanks for having me. This is an absolute blast for the Daily Blast.
Oh,
I like it. I like it. Tori's been rubbing off on you already. All right. Let's get right to it because we have some breaking news right now. We are live. Digital producer Kelly Schuberth has a breaking news fast blast.
Yeah, we do have breaking news right now. An active shooter situation happening at YouTube's headquarters in San Bruno, California. This is happening right now, so there isn't very much information, but this is a live shot as employees are being escorted out. One employee tweeted that he heard shots fired and saw saw people running, while others are tweeting that they've seen employees being escorted out with their hands up. We're working on getting more information on this. I'll bring that to you as soon as I have it.
Thank you, Kelly. And it's hard to comment without knowing everything that's going on, but it seems like they're controlling it somewhat.
Seems
people
like
are
the
going
situation
in,
could be controlled now.
Right. Hopefully.
People, yeah, she's saying people are being patted down now because remember, Nicholas Cruz exited with the group of students.
Right.
So they didn't know who was
who.
it, so they have to pat down everyone.
Oh, gives me chills. It's so scary.
All right, guys, again, we're live. Any more new information that we have, we'll definitely break right to it. But right now, Kathy Griffin's in the news, so we have to talk about that. Her comeback efforts ramps up tonight as the comedian is set to play Kellyanne Conway on Comedy Central's The President Show. Kathy has been clawing her way back after she posted a video of herself holding the president's severed head last year. The pictures saw her blacklisted from Hollywood and fired her from her annual CNN New Year's gig with Anderson Cooper. Now, I mean, I've already expressed how I feel about Kathy Griffin. I know Erica's all for the comeback. I'm kind of just over it. I'm kind of over her in general. She apologized, took it back. I didn't like that. She kind of, she made a career off of making fun of other celebrities, and now she wonders why no one's there for her right now.
And also, another issue here, she's a woman, and we just went through a whole Me Too situation. People are wearing shirts every day that says the future is female. She's going to go on television tonight and lambast and destroy and belittle and be unkind to another female.
That has nothing to do with it. She's going to she's going to lambast her because she doesn't agree with her politics.
Well, that didn't work so well for Miss Kathy Griffin. Now, did it last time?
Hey, I don't agree. I'm someone who's a comic and a female, and I still don't like what Kathy Griffin did. I don't think you do that to the president, whether or not you like him or not. But she's going to lambast Kellyanne Conway because Kellyanne Conway is an idiot.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say about
I agree, but I don't think it's because she's a female. Let's just be clear. I don't think it has anything to do with gender.
Well,
they both happen to be females. That's what's happening.
Well, when you sit here and say the future is female and talk about all of these working together and equal pay for equal work, don't go on television and destroy another female. And also, she went on the television with the bloody head of the president and then tried to apologize and not apologize, and she sits behind the First Amendment. Well, you know what? Yes, we have the Constitution and amendments, and they're great for everyone involved. But you know what? At the end of the day, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. There will be a backlash, Constitution or not.
But we can say that about every situation. I think earlier we were talking about Laura Ingraham, and the reason why I firmly believe that she would be back right away is because the people who are so vocal and actually exercising, trying to boycott the sponsors are going to forget because we're a forgetful society.
Yeah, the news cycle's over.
So, and it goes back to this Kathy Griffin thing. A lot of people are talking about it, but it's not the people who count because they weren't the people who are purchasing her tickets or watching her shows before, and they aren't going to join on the bandwagon now. So why even have the conversation when at the end of the day, it's up to the people who are considering themselves her fans.
Do you think she'll be successful in the comeback?
I hope she is successful because I think that she deserves that chance.
Good.
All right. Well, I love this next story. This is a positive story. You wouldn't know it by his tough exterior, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had a secret battle with depression. He told a British newspaper that his toughest time was failing to make it as a pro football player, and his darkest moment happened when he was just 15 years old. That's when his mother tried to commit suicide by walking into oncoming traffic. Johnson says he pulled her back and saved her life, and now he uses that experience to help others. And I follow The Rock on Instagram.
So do I.
I think he's a huge motivator. I think his daily work ethic is inspiring. You know, I can't speak on depression because I've never had it. I've been close to it with my wife, who's very openly spoke about her postpartum depression, and I know how that is so debilitating to a person, what it did to my wife. But I think her telling me was the first step in getting over that depression.
Yeah, as soon as you vent.
And I think with The Rock, all these experiences back in his life, he wouldn't have been The Rock if he didn't have to go through that tough times early on in his life.
And I like the way that he's explaining this to people, what he went through with his mother. He's not just saying, I'm a celebrity and I'm living in my mansion and I'm sad. He's saying, my mother ran into traffic and that really impacted my life. That's a real life situation that could literally happen to anyone, no matter what your demographics are in life. So he put it into a really relatable way and said, hey, if you're having problems like this, get some help. And I think that's a really inspiring way to go about this.
Yeah, I've had really bad depression, clinical depression, when I was in Michigan, and I couldn't get out of bed for 4 days. I've been very open about it. And it's weird because I'm so bubbly and I'm so energetic. And someone asked me yesterday on DBL Nation, is this a facade? And no, it's not a facade. I just have I do both. I can go here and then I can go there. And when someone speaks about it, because depression is the one disease that makes you not want to cure it. You are so tired that you can't get out and get help. Hopefully this breaks through someone else's depression.
And there's such a stigma attached to mental illness. I think this is helping change that way we look at sadness and mental illness and depression.
We've been talking about like just the celebrity aspect for a lot of different things today, and I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are using social media and ways to connect with these people because they want a damn right Me Too movement. Like they want that moment, and they want to feel like there's a connection, and that's a connection that we can all, at least in some capacity, relate to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And speaking of comebacks, Tracy Morgan is back. He's got a new show on TBS premiering tonight, and it looks hilarious if you haven't seen it.
It looks so good.
It's about a man returning to society after 15 years in prison. Check out this sneak peek.
I used to be just like y'all. Check your own potential, man.
Actually, sorry to interrupt.
Let's go to brunch! Ah, the woman!
What happened to Brooklyn?
Before.
Hey, get the back before I knock your out.
You have a moment to save the polar ice caps?
Oh, half calf, no foam mocha latte with an extra shot of espresso split into 2 cups.
And this morning, he stopped by the Today Show to reflect on his journey after a car wreck nearly took his life back in 2014. Watch this.
It was 3 years ago, June 7th, but imagine where my mind is right now.
Where?
I remember being in that wheelchair, not knowing if I was going to walk again or not knowing my name, and now I'm premiering tonight. So it feels good, and I got to shout out to the fans. I love you, and God bless you. Thank you for your love and support.
His delivery, man.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
What's so interesting about the show is he was out of commission for a long time, about 2 years. The
Very
show
serious.
is about someone being out of commission for 15 years.
Right.
There's a nice similarity there that he can sort of play into coming back into the comedy world after having been out of it. So he's just a wonderful
this
writer.
was a terrible
People
accident.
lost their lives.
Right, someone lost their life, and I mean, he's lucky to be alive and then to make a comeback like this. I mean, it's right up Erica Cobb's
It
alley.
is. But you were talking about a comeback, and we were just talking about Kathy Griffin and her comeback. This is a guy right here who survived a real tragedy and loss of life and losing a friend and being in a wheelchair and not being able to talk and having brain damage. This is a comeback I can get behind. I think a lot of people feel that way.
I try not to make a hierarchy for comebacks because no one's, at the end of the day, innocent or without sin.
Well, I do, and this is a good one.
I think they're all good.
I know, I know. All right, the men of reality TV, what? Have a problem?
Oh, yes.
They all have Peter Pan syndrome. The term comes from pop psychology, describing adults who never want to grow up. Wow, this is nailing me right on the head here. But then again, a lack of self-control, a desire to party and fight, well, it just sounds like good TV, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Erin, I was on reality TV.
So was I. It's okay.
All right, great.
What show were you? I was on The Apprentice. What were you on?
I was on Big Brother.
Big Brother.
Oh,
and The Amazing Race.
Right.
That's so cool. Well,
Yeah. Well, enough about me. You know who I like to
Who's your
watch
favorite
with Peter Pan syndrome?
Yeah, who do you like?
This is like my, what do you call it? I like Jax from Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
We gotta put, there he is. I mean, that guy's almost my age, and he still does it up. He gets paid well for it, and I mean, I'm glad it's not my life, but I enjoy watching it.
There you go.
There it is.
What a good role model for
How about you, Erica? No, it's who has Peter Pan syndrome. He's definitely got that.
For sure.
I can't wait to hear yours.
I think it's Rob Dyrdek.
That's a good one.
Except there's something endearing about his Peter Pan hood.
What's he from? I'm not from
Man, Fantasy Factory.
No, Ridiculousness.
Our everything.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. What was it, Robin?
Robin Big?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Big.
I auditioned for Ridiculousness. I did not get the part.
Way to circle it around to yourself, Tori.
I would have been Chanel West Coast. I would have been. Shut up.
Yours?
Shut up. I think Steve-O. He's like the epitome of the Peter Pan. And there's something like Erica said was Rob is endearing. There's something like touching or sad because I feel like he just so wants to be a little kid again.
Good role model.
Thanks.
Well,
that's how you said to me.
Talk about
Erin.
being a little kid again. My ultimate favorite, Peter Pan, and I will say I'm in love with this person, is my husband. Because he didn't get married to me until he was 48 years old. He loves to dress up in costumes, and he loves to just be young at heart, which he is. That's why he looks so young and feels so young. And we have a 5-year-old son, so guess what? Now he never has to grow up because he's doing kid things all over again.
I feel like we'd get along. What's his name?
Craig.
Craig. What's up, buddy? You look cute as a bunny. All right. new trailer starring Kevin Hart and It Girl Tiffany Haddish was just released. Al Jackson has your first look coming in hot, buddy.
I just have to ask Aaron, did Craig give us permission to use that photo?
No, sorry, honey.
All right, guys, that's right. Kevin Hart works as a salesman who loses his job, and guess what? He's got to go back to high school to get his GED. His teacher is none other than my homegirl, Tiffany Haddish. Watch as they head back to class in the new movie, Night School.
I was a couple credits shy of graduating. I got to get my GED.
My name is Carrie. I'm here to make a little extra cash so that I can afford this warrant that I got. But that's none of y'all business. Welcome to night school. You trying to get your GED?
Yes.
You can get out my way. My suspicions were correct. Boom. You're clinically dumb. I got learning herpes? I got the gift to keep on giving? Boy.
That's right. Night School premieres September 28th. I'm going to go see my friend. I get to sit in the theater and watch somebody to comedy with. So
wow.
I think she's winning.
Yeah.
Back to y'all.
No way, Al. We're winning right here, buddy. We're winning right here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Are you guys going to check it out?
Oh my gosh,
so funny.
And I love Kevin Hart. He makes me laugh every time.
Wow, that was a great, exciting ending to that segment. All right. Atlanta's Housewives' Kenya Moore comes after arch enemy Vivica Fox. Ooh.
Yeah, get your sunglasses. It's about to get shady in Reality Roundup. And later.
I think that all women who have gone through infertility just feel a certain bond with other women.
A mother gives the gift of life to complete strangers. The deeply personal donation she's making after a lab mishap destroys thousands of eggs and embryos. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, oh, I got someone in my ear. Jason, can you start this? Yeah, Rory.
Hey guys, Jason from the digital team. We're always trying to give you the latest breaking news, and as Kelly said earlier, there are some more reports coming out of San Bruno about the YouTube shooting. So we're going to cut to Kelly in a moment to give you the latest on what's going on with that. Alex, I don't know if we can cut to the full screen. We're going to give you a live look. Apparently, it's been reported that there's multiple patients who have been hospitalized as a result of this. So stay tuned with us. We will give you the latest in a moment.
Sorry guys, we're trying to get this breaking news in the show, so it's crazy around here. We have heard reports that there are multiple people injured. We do not know how many, and that has not been confirmed, so I want to be very clear that those are reports right now. It's a very scary situation. I want Chris to zoom in on this live shot. You can see we've got SWAT on scene, and we do know that there were negotiators going in.
We got it full screen.
Okay, perfect. So you can see this live shot from the headquarters. You can see this campus is a huge campus. So the amount of employees, I don't have that number at this point, but the amount of employees that are having to be escorted out with their hands up, they're being patted down by police. And Tori made a great point earlier in the show. That's because a shooter like Nicholas Cruz, he just walked out with the group of students when that shooting happened in Parkland, Florida. So we're tracking this for you guys, but we do know right now this situation is ongoing. It's active. It's happening now. There has been no shooter subdued. We have had reports of who the shooter might be. I am not going to report that because, again, it's not confirmed. But we do know there are multiple injuries, and we're just going to keep track of it for you. But we're also going to hit it again here in the show, so I'll keep track of it for you.
Alex is texting his friend who's actually in the
Yep.
building, so
Alex actually has a friend, our YouTube manager. He has a friend who works at YouTube there, so he's trying to get in touch with him. We do know that they are still on lockdown. The ones who have not been escorted out, it sounds like they're escorting them out room by room, which of course is the right thing to do. So it sounds like his friend is still on lockdown. We have not heard much more information from him, but I'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to go search for any new updates right now. Bye, guys.
It's now time for Reality Roundup. Yeah, this is where we discuss the best and the worst moments in reality TV. Now, let's get right to it, okay? Because on Vanderpump Rules, a new scandal erupted. Did Kristen and James hook up? Don't worry. Guess who's on the case? Detective Jax, of course. Yep.
Exhibit A, the crime scene. Kristen, Dodie, drinking alone. Suspicious? I think so. James, a social drinker as well, would never drink alone. Heard me coming and fled the scene. Pillows are oddly arranged. The smoking gun. I rest my case.
He got me convinced. They hooked up.
That would hold up in that would hold up in a court.
Of course it would.
The smoking gun of the pillows.
Right. Are you ready for this, Ebony?
I'm ready,
I think
girl.
you're going to be shocked.
Let's go.
Do you know a new article just announced how much they get paid? Do you know how much Jax, who's also an investigator now and a PI, he makes $25,000 per episode. They have like 24 episodes. That's like $500,000 a year, more than that, 600 and something thousand a year. Sheena Marie, $10,000 an episode. Stassi, Kristen, and Tom, $15,000 an episode.
Wow.
Gee,
why don't I work at Pump?
I know. I mean, gee, because I'm struggling right now. My credit's so bad, they question my cash. Need some money.
All right, well, it's time now for Miss Ebony Steele to deliver her shade of the day.
Okay. All right, the shade of the day comes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that is, season finale, and it features Kenya Moore. Kenya reignites a feud with her former Celebrity Apprentice castmate, Vivica A. Fox. Kenya caught Vivica's performance in a play, and here's her review.
That's what I wanted to do. But like I said,
Vivica's performance is the same performance. It was just 20 years ago and 20 surgeries ago.
Wow! She did not.
All right, you ready, ladies?
Yes.
All right, shade doesn't discriminate with your looks or age. Kenya felt the need to bring it to the stage. Old beef between Vivica and her still lives and seems to linger. Sat in the audience talking trash about her face and even pointed her finger.
Yes, she did.
Girl, we all have our good and bad days. There are moments we may all look strange. Kenya, be careful. She might put you in her book. You give her $1 and just like 50 cents, she might give you some change.
We are live. Digital producer Brett Forrest with news at this moment. Brett?
The OG Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame moments ago. Carter played the iconic Amazonian on TV from 1975 to 1979, and she says of the sidewalk honor, "I guess it's a way for people to walk all over you and it doesn't hurt." And the new Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, chimed in saying, "Thank you for your loving kindness shared by the Sisterhood of Women of Wonder. Shout out to Linda Carter. Congrats on the star."
That's awesome.
She's great.
Erica.
Sorry. Well, I mean, to be honest, like in the moment, my little sister just sent me sent our whole family a text message letting us know that she's safe, that she was close to YouTube. That's where she lives.
Oh, wow.
She's at a relatively safe distance from it now.
San Bruno, am I right? California?
Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad she's safe.
And we're going to have an updated on the next spot here coming up, so stay tuned for that. A devastating mishap destroys thousands of human eggs and embryos, but the story doesn't end there.
Up next, meet a woman who took it upon herself to literally donate the gift of life to others who want to be moms. Stay tuned.
Alex is one of our editors and graphic designers, and you have a friend in the building, is that correct?
Yeah, well, I used to...
Let's walk over here away from Kelly.
Yeah, so I have worked with people at that YouTube building. My friend John is there. He's actually still in lockdown right now in the building.
Is he allowed to have his phone out?
Yeah, because I've been talking to him.
So you've been texting with him. I've heard reports that it's a woman shooter. Is that what you guys are hearing?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, and where is he right now in lockdown?
He's probably up on the second or third floor.
Okay.
And it's a huge place with lots of places to hide.
It's like a compound, right? Is he scared? What is his psychological state?
He seems totally fine.
Does he feel safe within the space that he's in?
Yeah, I mean, he has not let on anything that there's anything scary going on, other than, obviously.
Did he hear the shots?
No.
No, he just heard the drill. They must have, do they have an active... and where to go.
Yeah.
Wow, guys. So we're just hearing, if you guys just tuned in, a YouTube headquarters in California, there's been an active shooter. Casualties have been reportedly mentioned, some major injuries in the hospitals. Alex's friend John is in lockdown. We're going to keep you updated. He's sending texts through Alex. We'll get it back to you. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
3, 2. Time now for the extra shot.
It's a story that made you say, give me another round, since it's so uplifting. Today, it's a mother who made the difficult choice to give away her embryos to help other women fulfill their dreams, to have a successful family. Sam Shocker has the full story.
Families clinging to the hope of having a child have been devastated after 4,000 eggs and embryos were destroyed at an Ohio fertility clinic after the freezer system failed. Enter Nikki Schaefer. She knows both the struggles and joy of in vitro fertilization. Her 2 children are the result of IVF treatments. Nikki knows what the destruction of the embryos means to those families. In a Facebook post, Nikki announced plans to donate her 4 remaining embryos to families affected by the tragedy, and she's calling for other women to consider doing the same.
Nikki Schaefer joins us now. Nikki, when you heard about the destruction of the embryos at the fertility clinic near you, what compelled you to donate your eggs, and was it a hard decision to make?
So I knew a lot of the patients that had eggs and embryos in that freezer.
Wow.
And then as a person who struggled with infertility myself, it is a community that I feel obviously incredibly connected to. And I had 4 embryos that I was never quite sure what to do with. So that confluence of people and events sort of made what was a very difficult choice up until that point an easy choice.
Absolutely. And you also posted your decision publicly on Facebook. Have other women contacted you directly asking how they can follow your lead?
Yes, I think I'm up to about 15 women who have contacted me. I have been totally overwhelmed by the response. And I also think that some people have contacted the fertility center directly and not gone through me.
Nikki, you've gone through infertility and IVF. What would you say to a woman who receives your embryo?
First of all, I'm sorry, because my daughter can be a little difficult sometimes, and they are technically her siblings. They were made in the same cycle. But, you know, I think what always made me feel better when I was dealing with failed fertility treatments is trying again. And I hope that these embryos will be that chance for someone to try again. Because I think it's that hope of being pregnant, of having that baby you always imagined for yourself, that helps you get through those dark times of infertility.
Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so honored to speak with you, and thank you for sharing your very personal story. I'm so touched by your selflessness.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We are live. Digital producer Kelly Schubert with the breaking news Fast Blast.
Yeah, guys, we continue to track that breaking news from San Francisco, where there's an active shooter situation at YouTube's headquarters. Here's a live look from the campus right now. We know multiple people are injured, with hospitals in the area confirming they've received patients from the shooting. All employees are being escorted out with their hands up, and each and every one of them are being patted down by police. Other employees who are still in the building say they're on lockdown, with one staffer saying he heard shots fired earlier. I'll keep you updated, of course, and let you know when we have new information.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, scary situation, but it seems like people are exiting. I don't know the exact what's going on there. I know you said your sister was very close by there, but everything's okay?
Yeah, she just sent a text to our family thread that said that she was close, but she's at a safe distance. I didn't even know that she was close, so that's why I was...
It's scary. And Facebook, YouTube Live, if you guys stay after, Alex, who's a graphic designer here, has someone that's in the building in lockdown texting him. So we're going to be going to Alex so you guys can get live information from someone in the YouTube headquarters.
So at Daily Blast Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, we'll continue
We're
the
going
story.
to go right to Alex.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some very important information.
Hey guys, if you're joining us, you just heard me say this is Alex. Alex is a good buddy of mine, also someone who has someone in the building currently in lockdown texting him. His friend John is safe. He didn't hear gunshots. He is not being taken out by the police. What is he saying is happening at the current moment?
Well, he can't. He's in lockdown now, so he can't be taken out by the police right now. So they're just waiting until the situation's...
So some people are still in the building and some people are exiting, but there's a difference there. And describe the YouTube headquarters for us. Is it one building? I said a compound, but maybe it's easier if you describe it.
There are multiple buildings, but it is a big place. It is like a typical, Northern California startup type place.
Like that Silicon Valley.
Yeah, there's like slides in there that you can go play around in. There's an immersion room where every room is a screen.
Wow.
But there are a lot of rooms, so there's a lot of places to hide.
Where you can get in and out. Interesting. And what's odd and in sort of this weird meta way is that if anyone caught it on YouTube at the YouTube headquarters on camera, it's just going to be insanely coincidental and interesting. Now, does he know anything about the shooter? Does he know anything? Okay. Is anyone he know hurt or shot?
He hasn't been able to let me know about that.
Okay.
As far as I know, he's just keeping to himself in one spot.
Is he underneath a desk or hidden under something?
I think he's all in a room.
In a room?
Locked up with a bunch of coworkers.
All right, we'll come back to Alex. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, God, hold on.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live, everybody. Great show today.
Yeah,
Great
really
topics.
good debates.
Yeah, we have one funny moment from the show as well.
Actor, a singer, a theater person. She's
Tell
phenomenal.
people-
No, Babs! No, Babs! Oh, no. No, Babs!
There you go. Now you got something for your reel.
What if I sent it to her and she wrote back, I would lose it?
Well, let's do that. Let's
Twitter. Barbara, can you hear me?
The stories never stop. Tori doesn't either. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Keep the conversation going, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Happy Tuesday.